Well, there's my beautiful podcast, people. Everybody good? All right, great to hear. Thanks, as always, for listening to the podcast. And, of course, thanks to our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning for making it all possible. Can we believe it's April already? And like the old saying goes, April showers brings gross, disgusting humidity and heat in May. Beat the heat and the summer rush. Have Standard Heating and Air Conditioning out to work on that AC soon. April is the best month to get your air conditioning wrenched on before the huge summer rush starts. So get on that today. Go to standardheating.com and schedule that AC tune-up. Thanks for listening. We love you podcasters. Enjoy the show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
Yeah, give me a minute. Do we have a minute?
Yeah, we can take some time. Can I help with anything?
Oh, just go get in your own chair.
We fight about this every morning. I want to share a chair.
It's fine before we go live, but I need a little bit of room to breathe here. Hell of a deal. That's what this is. I mean, a hell of a deal. Cracking the mics. What the hell time is it? 5:40 on a Tuesday morning. And we welcome everybody and all of y'all to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. Every damn buddy is planning on paying us a visit this morning. World-class entertainer C. Willi Myles, global television star Janel Klein. They'll be swinging by to Jaw Jack with us, around 7:30. And around the same time, former big league All-Star Glen Perkins is going to call us on the telephone. We're expected to talk Twins baseball, but if Glenn wants to talk about other things, that's fine too.
It's his time.
It's Glenn's time.
He can do with it what he wishes.
And there just isn't a hell of a lot to talk about with the Twins right now. Not yet.
Rocco got ejected. That's always kind of fun.
Yeah, he threw some garbage on the ball field. So there you go. Josh, next time you see your wife, congratulate her on winning our significant other NCAA basketball tournament bracket showdown.
Yeah, I think she's pretty excited. I didn't see her last night. She got home after it had already gone to bed. But she texted me this morning to say she was excited about the win.
She did a wonderful job. The fun part is, if she tried to field a basketball bounce pass, she'd likely fall down and break her ankle. But that's irrelevant when picking ball games.
She's not a very good athlete.
Completely
it's strange
irrelevant.
to me because she's a very good dancer, so you think she'd have some sort of grace,
but
and
no,
some sort of athletics. No, it's terrible.
No, she did a great job.
Which is great for me because it hides what I lack in athletic ability, because when she's out there trying, everybody's focused on how bad she is.
She looks even worse than you out there.
I mean, considerably worse.
That is right? Really hard to imagine.
Pardon me?
That's hard to imagine because a lot of people, well, I guess not a lot of people, but some people I know, they say that dance helps with other sports, with their balance and everything like that.
That's right, exactly. It makes no sense.
She just missed that part.
Yeah, for whatever reason, she says she has to have music behind her to make it work. So maybe like a lacrosse game, how they would play music in the middle of the athletic contest.
Well, if you go to an
There you
NBA
go.
game, they play music while the fellers are dribbling her up and down the court. She needs music in order to...
That's how she gained some rhythm and athleticism.
That's adorable.
But I'm most happy for Ashley after last night's outcome, because you really didn't want your fiancé to win.
Yeah, that felt good.
None of us wanted him to win.
It's like, man. Oh, great. Yeah, Houston lost.
You were cheering for him to fail because of how cocky he's been along the way.
Yeah, he deserves it.
And he beat you in a different bracket.
Also, it'd be stupid if the one dude won.
If the one dude won?
Yeah, the one dude in the bracket challenge won. That would have been stupid.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it was a woman that won.
I understand what you mean now. Right, we had our significant others get involved, and there was only one man amongst our significant others. What's that mean?
I mean, technically, I guess. Yeah.
So congratulate your wife. She doesn't win Dick Tracy, but just our respect.
Well, it's nice of you to say. I'll pass that along. People are wondering, I had said the winner gets to pick one night with one member of the morning show. And I'm praying, does Jordan Parisi count as a member of the morning show?
No. The winner.
Jordan Max?
No. The winner, how did you say this again?
The winner gets to pick their night with their member of the morning show. They can pick a member of the morning show to have one night with.
Your wife, being the winner, has this opportunity now. Oh, so you're trying to control which partner she beds down with.
I wanted to put in a good word for Jordan Parisi.
No, he's no longer a friend.
He's still a friend.
No, he's not.
He texts from time to time.
Jordan Max, haven't talked to her in weeks. No, you're down to she is down to just choosing between 5, 6 of us.
Well, I think I'll know, based on her track record, I know who she's going with. Maybe we can reveal that at a different time. See Willi Myles.
Yeah, it'll likely be C. Willie. Josh, you're the brightest guy I know. I got a question for you. Did you know that if you were living in Australia, is that something you've ever dreamed about, living in Australia?
No.
Not even when you were a 5th, 6th grade kid and you watched Crocodile Dundee for the first time, you didn't dream of living in the outback?
No, I thought he was cool.
You did?
Yeah, very cool. But no, I did not have that dream. I'm an avid indoorsman.
Well, I know, but when you were a 5th or 6th grade kid.
It seemed kind of cool, but no, I've never felt any type of pull to leave the country.
You weren't a full-on indoorsman when you were a 5th or 6th grade kid. You're probably out on your bicycle all day.
Constantly.
Buying porn from the filthy kid down the neighborhood, smoking cigarettes in an alley. Cigarettes? No porn, no cigarettes.
No cigarettes.
But you did ride the bicycle around town. I'll tell you what. That movie came out the summer after my 8th grade year. Day 1 of 9th grade, there was a kid in my class, and he was a friend of mine, who showed up to the first day of school with his hair dyed blonde, wearing snakeskin boots, and talking in an Australian accent.
Oh, you love it.
He had fully committed himself, at least on day 1 of school, to let everybody know, I've got a decent Crocodile Dundee imitation in my repertoire now. He let go of the accent after day 1, but he kept the boots and the hairdo. All right. Let me get to what I was going to ask you about. Here's the deal. Did you know that if you lived in Australia, Josh, you could not legally name a child Dickhead?
I bet it's not exclusive to Australia, but I wasn't aware they specifically had that.
I suppose I didn't think about that.
That was my favorite name that I read.
Dickhead?
Yeah, I even pointed that one out to my family members. Oh, darn.
I would like to know the people that this rule got made because of. You know, they attempted to name their kid Dickhead, and then somebody said, you know what, we might need to put a law in place.
Yeah, talked about places where you can't name your kid Nazi or Hitler or something like that.
I suppose I didn't think about that. Australia probably isn't the only spot on planet Earth that has banned the name Dickhead from being permanently placed on innocent children. Here are all of the illegal baby names that have been officially banned in Australia. Interrupt me if there's one that you like and you want to argue for, okay?
Oh, I've got one I saw the list. I've got one for sure that I think should be a name that's okay to give your kid.
Oh, I'm excited. Oh, I bet I know what it is.
Yeah,
yep.
And Dana's probably right. A lot of these probably made the banned list, BANNED list, because some lunatic couple attempted to name their innocent child. Okay, here are all the illegal baby names that have been officially banned in Australia. Adolf Hitler, Bomb, Bonghead.
Some potheads.
Why would you do this to your kid?
Because people are insane.
Bonghead.
That's why. Because they're friggin' insane, and they look at their child as nothing more than a conversation piece for themselves.
It's their accessory, sure.
Yeah.
It's an accessory.
It's a way to show how creative they are.
God, poor kid.
You cannot name a child Brother in Australia. Maybe they're more fans of Sting or Macho Man Randy said, not big Hulk Hogan fans in Australia. You cannot name a child brother. Cyanide. Dame. D-A-M-E. Maybe you
kind
need
of a weird one.
Maybe you need to be Australian to get what that means.
Oh.
Maybe that's a derogatory term over there. I don't know.
Shoot.
Devil. What's happening over there?
I'm trying to remember. I've heard that in like old.
Well, there's
Oh,
Dame
the-
Judi Dench. I mean, that's not her first name. She was
Yeah, it's like that kind of vibe. Yeah,
Lot
it
of-
says it's a female equivalent of sir. So
Sure.
I don't know why
yeah.
they're not. I don't know why they're not about that.
Yeah, it might be like slang for hussy over there or something.
Oh,
again,
that makes sense.
That's
yeah.
what I just said. Right.
I think-
Maybe it's derogatory in Australia. We don't live there. We don't know.
Well, I think it is here, too. Some people take offense to that. You're like, what was the name of that dame? You know, yeah, it was out with a couple of dames last night. Have you heard anybody say something like that before?
I can see. Yeah, that makes sense.
Devil. Dickhead.
Do you think some of these have pronunciations? They're spelled that way, but they, get creative with the pronunciations. Like, no, that's DeVille. Or
Good
Daville.
question. Very good question. Very good. Yeah, people would try to skirt around the rules for that. Right. Emperor.
Be kind of a cool name if you're cool enough to pull it off.
I would not think that to be a cool name if my name was Emperor.
No.
I've mentioned before my oldest, Cam, went to school with a kid that called himself King Money. And I don't know if anybody knew his real name outside of teachers, but King Money is what he went by. I bet you can't name your kid King Money.
Again, we continue on with the list of illegal baby names in Australia. Father. G-Bang. Like short for gangbang?
Gotta be
That's
right.
what I imagined.
Was a baby... Was there a parent who wanted to name their child Gangbang because it was the product of a gangbang?
That'd be special.
You got folks who name their children after the city they were conceived in.
Bryce Dallas Howard, middle name.
Bryce Dallas, or the month they were conceived in, or the this, the... Okay, God. You cannot name your child God. However, we learned in 1984, didn't we, Josh, from the documentary Ghostbusters, that if anyone ever asks you if you are a god, you say yes. One of my favorite scenes when they're up on top of the building. What was her name? Gazool, the lady Gazool. Zool came in and she asked Ray if he was a god.
She was hot in a scary way.
She was friggin' hot.
Josh, isn't there something in religion that says you shouldn't do that anyway?
Huh?
Meaning...
kind of compare somebody to God.
Yeah, no
or
false
something.
idols, all that
Okay.
kind of thing.
Well, I mean, there was a college, speaking of, last night's big college basketball final, there was a very popular and successful college basketball player many years ago by the name of God Shamgod. Now, I don't know if that was his birth name, but that's what they called him on television, God Shamgod.
But you're right, Ashley. You got to kind of stay away from those names. Just ask Shotgun Messiah Jesus or retired GVFD Jesus or Jackrabbit Jesus.
You also cannot name a child Goddess or Harry Potter or Jesus Christ or Majesty. Didn't Mike Jackson have a...
Prince.
Or Jermaine Jackson have a kid named Prince?
Well,
What?
yeah, Michael Jackson had Prince Michael Jackson, right?
Oh, right, but Jermaine Jackson, maybe Mike's brother, I thought he had a... Someone look up Jermaine Jackson and his children's names. Now, they're ridiculous because he's a member of the Jackson family. Can you do that for me? Jermaine Jackson.
I knew a girl named Majesty.
Yeah,
her mom's name is Queenie, and she was Majesty.
Yeah, I know a girl named Majesty, too. I just looked it up on Facebook, and boom, right away.
Now, did they call her Madge for short?
Oh, I hope not.
Because that
she was very little when I knew her. It was a neighbor, so they called. I mean, it seems like when you're littler, you get the full name, so they always called her Majesty.
If I'm not mistaken, I think when, like, say, my grandparents' generation, I believe, I can't think of what it was short for, but there were women wandering around planet Earth named Madge. Was it short for Margaret, maybe?
It could be.
Anyway,
'Cause I've heard that. I have an aunt Margaret, so Marge or Madge. I've heard people say both.
Did anyone find the list of children that were sired by Jermaine Jackson from the Jackson 5?
Were you thinking of his son, Your Majesty Jackson?
That's it, Your Majesty.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus brings up the people that named their daughter Khaleesi one season into Game of Thrones and then regretted it in season 8.
What did she
maybe
do?
you have to see the whole arc of the character to decide if you
she
should.
became a bad person?
Nobody liked the way the show ended.
Well, I've mentioned it before. There was a stretch of time at the Boom Boom Room when that Game of Thrones first hit it big. And I used to go to the Boom Boom Room quite frequently back then. Rick's Cabaret, how do you call it, Seville Club. And every 4 or 5 strippers, I should say, every 4 or 5 strippers was named Khaleesi for a stretch of time because that effing show was so popular. And also, what was the name from that Frozen show?
Elsa.
That weirds me out. That's a children's movie.
A lot of strippers were Elsa and Khaleesi for a handful of months until the next trend came around. Okay, we got to keep cooking now on this list of illegal baby names in Australia. Marijuana.
Dumb. There was a story here about
That is really dumb.
about a girl that was named Pepsi Marijuana. Do you remember? Maybe Marijuana Pepsi? I can't remember.
Come on. Here in the States.
Yeah, let's see if I can find that
Come
story.
on.
Yeah, Marijuana Pepsi.
It's not a toy. It's a child that is going to need to live an adult life after you are dead.
Yeah. She's an Illinois lady.
Monkey. Can't name your child Monkey or Nazi or Nutella or Osama bin Laden
Yeah, why? Again, why? Why
Yeah.
a million years?
or Panties. You can't name. That's just my child. Oh, how adorable. What is her name? Her name is Panties.
Could be kangaroo panties over there in Australia quite easily. People are bringing up a good point. There's a lot of Mohammeds and Jesuses out there as far as religious names.
Oh, yeah.
I'll have to go along with it. Passport. Pope. Professor. Queen. Ranga. I don't know what that means. Now, here's where I think
This one deserves consideration.
we've hit a crossroads here. Josh said earlier, there's one name on this banned baby name list from Australia where you'd like to make an argument, and I'm right behind you, son. If you need any help on this argument, I'm there for you. For whatever reason, they have banned the name RoboCop from being placed permanently on the record or birth certificate of an innocent child.
Because you are not going to name your kid RoboCop.
I would like to name my child RoboCop.
Yeah, why would you name your kid after an American hero?
A lot of
Makes
folks,
no sense to me either.
That is crazy.
I know folks that have named their babies after movie characters and then regretted the living hell out of it.
Oh,
I
yeah,
know
I'm
people.
judging.
I know people who have named their babies after influential people. Of course,
RoboCop. Maybe
Love
at least
that
a middle
dude.
name. Rambo. That's another one that should be under consideration for being okay.
Come with me, or there will be trouble. You can't name your child Satan. You can't name your child Scrotum. Anybody want to fight that one?
Nope.
You can't name your child Semen.
God.
Jesus.
Well, that's how they start, but even so.
You can't name your child Head or Smelly or Snort or, this must be Australian, Socceroos. You can't name your baby Terrorist or Thong or Virgin.
Snot Rocket Jesus wants to know, what about the name Judge Dredd? Wasn't one of his best films.
No, it really wasn't.
Never saw it!
You're better off having
You'd hate it. That is not a movie for you. This person regrets naming their child Bill Cosby. Tell me about it. I named mine Darren Sharper,
Oh, God.
who at one time was one of my favorite Vikings. That has changed.
Now you know what not to name your baby if you ever start a family in stinking Australia.
I'm surprised you didn't know what Socceroos is, Dana.
Oh, it's the name of the soccer players, their national team.
Yeah. So I guess
where are
that
they
makes
from?
sense.
Where?
In Australia.
It's an Australian national. Okay, I thought maybe it was a rival country. And that's
Oh,
why they
no,
said
no. If you play for the Australian national team, you're a Socceroo.
And then it said that the Ranga, that's just another word for redheads. Like a redheaded animal situation. Huh, I never knew that.
Red-headed animal situation?
Yeah.
What are you talking
it
about?
It says red-haired person, or it comes from
A
the
red-haired...
early 21st century from an orangutan because it has reddish hair.
Okay. So a red-haired person is a Ranga in Australia, where around here we call them, what do we call them?
Daywalkers.
Fire?
Ginger.
Fire crotch? That's what we used to do back in the... Everyone was a fire crotch. How's your lawn looking, Josh? Mine is bordering on garbage.
Mine's decent. It's torn up front. They were doing some utility work, so I could probably use a little help. But it's not terrible. Not as bad as it used to be.
We got this deal happening again this year. And it's funny because off air, we were talking about, having this conversation on air. And Ashley says, this is such an old person thing. And so that's how she came off, right?
And you're right, because to me, this is one of the coolest prizes we give away.
Right.
Oh, no, I definitely think it's sweet, but it is a very old person thing.
Yes, Ashley says, this is a very old person thing. And Josh immediately responded with, I know.
I want
That's
it
not the
badly.
end of the line. He said, I know. It's awesome. What I'm talking about is free grass. Now, we got together with the folks over there at A&L Sod to give one lucky winner a free yard. If you have a jacked up yard, and mine has become that, which is why I would absolutely kick my grandmother out of the way for a crack at this. If you got a jacked up friggin' yard, you got dogs, kids tearing it up, you got crews in your yard tearing, like Josh, because he's always got, or just bad luck. You try your ass off. I know I do every spring. I try my ass off to fill in the dead spots and all that crap, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If your yard sucks and you want that to change, send us a picture. Go over to 93x.com. Send us a picture. Click on the contest link on the homepage to submit that picture, and we're going to collect them all week. Would this be next Monday? We'll post the top 5 jacked up yards. Listeners can vote for the one you think deserves to have A&L Sod give them a new one. And at the end of next week, we here on the Half-Assed Morning Show will announce one winner. Right before 420, which is the grass holiday or whatever you call it.
Oh.
Yeah. So go to 93X for more info.
That's so cute.
See some before and after pictures of last year's winners. Now, that's interesting to me. I have not looked at the before and after pictures of last year's winner. And all of this is courtesy of A&L Sod and, of course, this here radio station. So I'll tell you what, you know who's got it worse? My neighbor. Oh, my God.
You were saying that yesterday. Is it really that bad?
It's just a mud pile. It just is what it is.
Do they have a lot of pets?
No, he's got 0 pets.
Huh.
It's just...
That's why we had to fix up ours last year. The pet had destroyed it.
Yeah, I can believe. Well, you got the freaking 2 horses in the house. For God's sake, no, my neighbor just. I don't. This is not my game. I know the basics, on how to keep a lawn going or how to bring a dead spot to life. I know the basics. So I don't know if it's too much shade or what the problem is at my neighbor's, but it's just He's got a friggin' riding lawnmower. He just, and it's over. He's got one patch of grass. He kind of goes, and that's it. That's all he's got to do in this summer.
I'm completely making an assumption, but there's a house in our neighborhood that has the best lawn I've ever seen. I mean, I think greenskeepers at golf courses could take a lesson from this retired couple that live there.
Yeah.
And their neighbor has probably one of the worst lawns I've ever seen.
Just nothing there, or
No, it's all weeds.
Yeah.
Weeds and dandelions
That
and things
sucks.
like. And so I wonder if there's a rivalry between the two. Because those other people spend so much time on their lawn. I wonder if they're pissed. Like, we got nothing but weeds here that are going to make it to our lawn.
I would be.
I don't know them at all, so maybe they're totally cool and they just mind their own business. But I would imagine there's a little something like that. Because I lived next to a guy who he was very. He would say something to someone.
Oh, I hate those people.
If there was weeds in their yard too close to his yard.
You just please find something else to do with your time than worry about everyone else's yard. I cannot stand those people.
By the way, if you want to submit a picture of your lawn, you need to do it by Thursday at 11:59 p.m. So by the end of Thursday, get that in.
Oh, that information should be in front of me.
Yeah, I'd hate to have you miss out.
Thank you for that, Josh.
Yeah, make sure you get it in by the end of Thursday.
Yeah.
What a cool prize.
I mean, a couple years ago, I don't know what happened. See, like I said, I only know the basics, maybe even less than that. A couple years ago, my back lawn was friggin' beautiful. Had a few trees go down. That didn't help. Had a few crews going back there with the crane and whatnot. That probably was the beginning of the end. Now, I mean, it's okay. But to have something beautiful, to have a group like this A&L Sod gang come over, I mean, that would just be fun. Not that I'm a stickler about it. Like I said, my neighbor's back lawn is just mud. Do I care? No.
We got an estimate to see what it would take to put fake grass back there, you know, where the dogs go to the bathroom and everything.
Fake grass?
Yeah, just like turf, you know, just like a plastic turf or whatever it's made out of. That was crazy expensive. Insane expensive.
And you have to get like certain kind, because I never thought about this when I was watching a video the other day of somebody that did that, and the dog's urine wouldn't like go through all the way, and when they went to the bathroom on it and stuff, so it always smelled like just straight urine in their backyard. And I was like, oh, thank God. I never thought about it like that. That would suck.
That's the stuff we had an estimate on.
But at least it would match the smell on the inside of the house, wouldn't
That's
it?
a good point.
Yeah, what the hell? So I really dig this this opportunity for our listening audience. I remember last year when they brought the idea to us. Remember that?
Yeah.
You guys want to give away grass? We were like, what do you think we are, a bunch of old timers? No, we don't want. And then we thought about it and we read up on what. I love it. I love
what
this
it's kind
worth
of stuff
too. Yeah.
I have no idea what it's worth, but I'm sure it's a lot of money.
I don't know if we're allowed to say, but yeah, a lot. More anxiety than hair, Jesus said his late father-in-law put up a sign in his backyard facing the neighbors, telling them he was sick at looking at their lawn.
Oh, shut up.
Talk about Minnesota passive-aggressive, he said.
I guess if I'm retired and that's all I got, yeah, that would piss me off too.
Find something else to do. I'm telling you.
I would offer to just do their lawn.
I've got zero time for people like that. One morning at the bar, this was near 20 years ago. This is when I knew me and my friends had finally reached, I guess, some kind of breaking point in life where we no longer knew how to have fun, or just no longer had the attitude we did when we were younger. Because I'm windmilling breakfast into my mouth at the bar. We were all gathered for breakfast, and I overheard two of my buddies who were being critical of people's lawns. Yeah, you know, Donnie? Yeah. Oh, his lawn is just garbage. And I said to the boys, is this really where we're at now? This is where we're at? We got nothing else to talk about at breakfast but criticizing our friends' lawns? Not my game.
What about their leaves? Would you criticize
Don't
their
care.
leaves if they're blown into your yard?
Don't care.
Because
that
you
makes me
hate
mad.
leaves and you hate trees. So
I do.
I'm surprised that wouldn't bother you.
I'm just not. I've got other things on my mind than, no, not something I'm ever concerned about. All right. Good luck, folks. Send us in your pictures to 93x.com. Again, Starting at 7:30, he's going to get crowded in here. Janel Klein, Willi Myles, and Glen Perkins. Thank you very much for tuning us in. We'll be back with the stupid news here in a few minutes on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Idly ho, neighborinos.
93X.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
Well, there's my beautiful podcast, people. Everybody good? All right, great to hear. Thanks as always for listening to the podcast, and of course, thanks to our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning for making it all possible. Can we believe it's April already? And like the old saying goes, April showers brings gross, disgusting humidity and heat in May. Beat the heat and the summer rush. Have Standard Heating and Air Conditioning out to work on that AC soon. April is the best month to get your air conditioning wrenched on before the huge summer rush starts. So get on that today. Go to standardheating.com and schedule that AC tune-up. Thanks for listening. We love you podcasters. Enjoy the show.
Are you someone who tries to drive while distracted by your phone? Someone who props it on the steering wheel or peeks down at it for a glance? Or just scrolls and scrolls? If so, you could be the next person to get into a fender bender, get a ticket, veer off the road, or even cause a crash that kills you or someone else. Enough already. Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
NBA veteran Jim Jackson takes you on the court.
You get a chance to dig into my 14-year career in the NBA and also get the input from the people that will be joining. Charles Barkley.
I'm excited to be on your podcast, man. It's an honor.
Spike Lee, entrepreneur, filmmaker, Academy Award winner.
Knicks fans.
So, now you see, I got you. But also how sports brings life, passion, music, all of this together.
The Jim Jackson Show, part of the Rich Eisen Podcast Network. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. That's a terrible, awful, violent, miserable world that we live in. And you know this. A teenage girl got herself damn near choked unconscious by a McDonald's worker because the teenage gal walked back behind the counter on her own to snatch up some more of that ranch dipping sauce. Now, obviously, it seems a touch unreasonable to choke someone down a reading level or two just because they grabbed some dipping sauce without permission. But this young gal could have avoided trouble by just abiding by universal fast food restaurant protocol. Everyone knows you don't go back behind the counter like you own the joint. Come on.
Yeah, that's pretty rude.
Rude.
Shallow, pedantic, all the above. But people are quick to violence. Then again, I think fast food workers are amongst probably the most perpetrated upon, people freaking out and throwing stuff at them and fighting them.
You're damn right.
Exactly. They're probably on edge already.
Yeah, exactly.
You're damn right.
But people are quick to violence these days.
Probably shouldn't be choking teenage kids out. But at the same time, the kid could have avoided all of that nonsense. You don't go walking behind the counter like it's your friggin' kitchen. The 17-year-old gal, who doesn't like to play by those rules, at first she was grabbed by the 31-year-old McDonald's employee by the name of Akina Sampson. When the teenage gal tried to shake Akina loose, Akina allegedly grabbed her around the neck and took the girl down to the floor of the restaurant. And once they hit the mat, Akina went into full-on choke mode on the teenager.
I was recently with a person who, it was like a dipping type sauce. They wanted some extra sauce, and they thought the same thing. They were just going to lean over the counter and grab it because the person working there had been in the back for a long time. And I had to ask them, request politely, please don't do something like that. That seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, I see it every once in a while at the bar. I mean, my neighborhood bar, it's all regulars almost all the time. We've known the bartenders for 25, 30, 30. Everyone knows each other. But still, The bartenders get aggravated when someone goes back behind the bar on their own to grab the remote for the television or something. It's just courtesy, you know. Have a little respect still for the bartender's area. Yes, we know them personally. They're like friends, but have a little respect and appreciation for their area. The local cops say that the ranch snatcher, teenage gal, had visible injuries to her neck and to her elbow. The whole mess was recorded on the restaurant's security cameras. Now, this Akina gal, who does look like she can wrestle, she was charged with child abuse. That's an unfortunate sounding charge. Isn't there another way to put that?
Yeah, wow.
That makes it sound like it was her child and she's some kind of a sick maniac. If I ever have to beat up a kid, I'd request a different sounding charge on my...
Absolutely.
Can I get a different sounding charge on my record if I beat up a kid? How about fighting a child? I'm okay with that charge.
Yeah.
Because that makes it clear that me and the child had a mutual physical altercation, and I won.
Well, it doesn't... I was going to say, that doesn't say who won if you're just charged with fighting a child. That child could have whooped you.
No, it doesn't say who won, but...
I think that's almost... Well, never mind. I was going to say that's almost more embarrassing. You fought a child. Either way, it's terrible.
Yeah, but the child started it.
They have to put that in there.
The child abuse...
Fought a child who started it. That's what I'm charged with.
Okay,
yes.
Yeah, give me that one if the moment ever comes. The child abuse charge makes it sound like, you know, I got drunk and hit my kid with a belt for not bringing me home cigarettes or something. You know what I mean? Unfortunate charge there. Miss Sampson, Akina Sampson, the choker, she and her manager, the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, are off the court now. She's pleaded not guilty to the charge of child abuse, and she's likely going to lose her McDonald's gig.
Yeah, she's not long for McDonald's anymore, I'd imagine.
It sucks.
Probably not going to get hired in many places with that type of charge on your record either.
No.
Unless you got a boss that hates kids as much as she does.
Yeah, that could be a benefit. But like Cubby said, fast food workers, oh my damn. The nonsense, the morons that they put up with day in, day out. I wouldn't laugh. I don't know how long Akina Sampson worked at McDonald's before she choked this kid out, but I bet I'd snap quicker than she did if you gave me a job over there.
Give me maybe an hour. And I would snap.
Really, not even one day. Not in a full shift even.
I actually walked in. I usually just go through the drive-thru or I order online because I'm very lazy. But I went inside of a fast food place the other day, and they were busy. It was lunch hour, and there was a guy that had to wait a little bit longer than usual for his food, and he was just the biggest D-bag about it. Like, I was sitting there for maybe 10 minutes, and I wanted to punch the dude in the face. I can't imagine what the workers have to deal with.
Yeah, I've seen that myself. I understand what you're saying.
We're all special now, Ashley. We're all the star of the show.
God,
and if we don't get the treatment that we feel we deserve, all hell is certainly going to cut loose. We've got some great ideas here coming in on our text machine, 651-989-9393. Great ideas on an alternate sounding charge. This McDonald's worker had to beat a kid up, and she was charged with child abuse. We all think that doesn't tell the whole story. So what do you think about this, Josh? Aggravated malicious intent toward a non-cooperative underage customer.
That's great because you have no idea what they're talking about. That's a good charge. That could be real bad. That could not be so bad.
Excessive discipline of a minor. That all sounds way better than child abuse.
Or you could just soften it by saying, fought a child who had it coming.
Had it coming, yeah.
Had it coming.
I think everybody in their life has been around a kid who had it coming. And they could understand.
All right, it says here now, a story out of stupid England, Birmingham, England. The story says that a street thief used his bizarre dance moves in order to pickpocket folks on the street.
With this guy, I'd be more upset about the dance humping he did versus him stealing my wallet. I'd feel more victimized with that. That was weird.
It's kind of a humping.
Yeah.
You're right.
A very fast, vibrating hump.
This dude's been arrested. Total dork. He's been arrested for pickpocketing folks. And this is the perfect name for an Englishman is how you say it. This is the perfect name for an Englishman who bothers folks on the sidewalk by dancing all up on them and then snatching their wallets. The dude's name is Anus.
That's unfortunate.
A-N-I-S. Anus. Security cameras caught him going through with his stupid gimmick. Anus was able to pick the pockets of 4 people between July and August of last year. Now, in the video that I watched, and it sounds like it's the same one you watched, Josh, you can hardly call Anus's routine dancing. He physically grabs onto people and sort of twitches uncontrollably like he's completely out of his effing mind or something. And I think the people are more just confused and concerned about Anus than they are mesmerized by his dance skills.
I would have to agree with that, Nick.
Yeah, it's weird. The distraction certainly works.
Ooh, how about this? Instead of child abuse when you fight a kid, you get charged with child adjustment. Okay.
It looks like this guy is humping them from the back. I guess like he's not using his front to hump them. It looks like he's using his back to hump them.
It's a back hump.
Very odd.
It's a back hump. It's a side hump. It's not really dancing. Like I said, it's just twitching.
It's the Humpty dance. That's what that is.
Very different than the Humpty dance, and you know that because you know how to do the Humpty dance. We've done it together.
I don't know how to do the Humpty dance or any dance.
Well, first you shift to the left like your leg was broken, twitching and wiggling like you was smoking. What do you mean you don't know how to do the Humpty dance?
Well, I can't perform the Humpty dance more specifically.
So I guess this guy's routine was Anus, while he shakes and lurches like that kid did all over the church floor in that Crash Test Dummies song. While he shakes and lurches, that's when Anus would grab wallets or cellular telephones out of folks' pockets, and then he'd just up and walk away. He couldn't quite explain it. He'd always just done that. Anus got caught when the cops started tracking where some of the victims' cash cards were being used around town. Anus is currently in jail. It says here, pickpockets adopt various tricks and tactics to steal people's property. Yeah, I guess they do. When I first read the headline to this here story and found out there was video, I was kind of looking forward to seeing some killer dance moves. But Anus isn't anything special. He isn't. He's just strange.
Yeah, you can't. It's not dancing.
It is not.
It's just odd.
So the question is here, is this the dumbest parking ticket of all time? You folks will have to go ahead and tell me. A feller in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, is fighting a parking ticket that his daughter got in front of their house back on April 1st. And it says here, it's so bad it should be an April Fool's Day. Anyway, back on April 1st, early in the morning, the city installed a sign for a brand new bus stop in front of the guy's house. The sign was actually put smooth in his front lawn, stabbed into his front lawn. Bus stop. This is a new spot to get on the bus. The crew finished putting up the sign. Summer's around 7:55 a.m., all right? Just 10 minutes after the sign was posted up, a parking enforcement official stopped by and gave his daughter, the dude's daughter, a parking ticket because her car was blocking the bus stop.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That is wonderful.
I would assume, too, that was an April Fool's Day joke. How do you not get a heads up? I mean, that's pretty big. They're right in front of your house. They're putting a bus stop.
I'd be pretty pissed.
There's no flyer or anything that comes your way?
Nothing. They got nothing, Cubby. This dude's daughter's car was there overnight before the bus stop even existed. They stabbed the sign into his yard, bus stop. 10 minutes later, the parking enforcement official sticks a ticket under her windshield wiper. God, that's funny. Dad says, Josh, they were given no advance warning about the bus stop coming in. There's no way they could have known that they wouldn't be able to park there.
The picture of him is great because he's like, you've got to be kidding me. I
Right.
don't understand why they don't just wipe this ticket out immediately.
The city says the ticket will not be reversed.
That is crazy.
And this dad and his daughter can go ahead and suck it, French-Canadian style. They say once a ticket is written, there ain't a damn thing anyone can do about it.
What is their problem? Jeez.
They're the city of Montreal. That's their problem. Dad still wants to fight this to the bitter end. He said he's annoyed that he's had to spend his time and energy on something so stupid.
Yeah, I would fight it. Even if it was like $30. I would. It's the principle now.
Damn, that's cold as ice, Cubby. I kind of wish I was a parking enforcement official. Oh, I'd issue douchey parking
stuff
tickets.
like that?
I would all day long. All day. I'd become public enemy number one with
Just
my douchebag parking tickets.
Carry around a variety of signs. Oh, look at that. It's a construction zone as of 45 seconds ago. We're going to have to tow your vehicle.
So the photo of this guy, he has a, how the hell did this happen?
Yeah,
Look on his face.
you got to be kidding me, look.
That is beautiful.
I got a ticket once for parking in a snow emergency lane or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was not a snow emergency lane. And I grew up there, so I knew that, and I knew the rules. So I had called and, said, this is my address, and they took care of the ticket right over the phone. They're like, oh, yeah, somebody made a mistake there.
Oh,
it was
that's
the other
nice.
side of the street. Whoever was ticketing cars. My car got towed. At first, I thought it was stolen. So after I figured that out, I called them up, and I did not get reimbursed for the tow, unfortunately.
Oh,
but
that would piss me off.
took away the ticket.
That had to be more than the ticket. The toll.
Oh, yeah, quite a
big time.
What?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever received a parking ticket, but I did get towed once because of that snow emergency gimmick. I was living not far from here. And being a suburbs kid, I never knew Dick Tracy about this parking emergency crap. I thought I understood it. I did not. And what's fun about the only fun part of this situation I found myself in, because it's a pain in the ass to get a friggin' ride. Number one, I had to get a ride to work that morning because when I walked out onto the street to go to work, I was completely unaware that my toe had been carred. My car had been towed. So then it was a panic to get to work. Then, of course, pain in the ass to go down to the, what do they call it in the business, Josh? The
impound lot?
Impound lot, thank you. Find your vehicle, pay whatever you had to pay. The fun part about it was every morning when I walked out to my car, which is parked right on a city street, every morning some goofy dude who must have been going to work too, he would ride by on his bicycle. I would walk out the front door of that building at the exact same time that this dude would shoot by on his bicycle. And he'd say, "What's up?" And I'd say, "Good morning." We had a thing, he and I. We never stopped to talk, but we would always say hello to each other in passing. The morning I walked out onto the street and my car was gone, here comes a guy on his bicycle, and he says, "Where's your car, bro?"
I don't know.
And I said, "I do not know." But then it dawned on me that I didn't fully understand the rules of the snow emergency.
I was told one other time, and this one was my fault, but I didn't understand the rules there. All I wanted to do was watch some girls dance to Darksider music in cages. And so I went to Ground Zero for one of their nights for a work deal. And I parked across the street, and it was a bank, and a lot of people were parking in this bank parking lot.
Sure.
And I never saw a sign that said you couldn't. My car got towed. The cops couldn't have been nicer about it. They explained to me, well, we've got an issue where folks are sitting in their car waiting for someone to go through the ATM line and then jack them, right? And so I totally understood. I understood why my car was towed. But that was also another time I thought, my gosh, somebody stole my car again. Here we go.
Well, I've never had my car towed. That would be a terrifying experience.
Oh, it sucks.
Terrifying is a bit dramatic. But,
because I would assume what Josh assumed, that somebody stole my car.
Oh.
That would suck.
Oh. You went to Ground Zero, huh?
Yeah, we had a weekly thing back when we were the Edge at Ground Zero.
I can't picture Cubby at Ground Zero.
I was thinking the same thing.
I was very intimidated.
I bet you were.
Nobody told me about the girls dancing in cages.
Oh, I bet you're so out of your element.
9-inch nails is cranking. And,
I thought I was in like a vampire den of some sort. Everybody's kind of dressed up scary.
Yeah, a lot of piercings and tattoos.
Yeah.
And
everyone's dressed in all black.
How close to naked because I never went there. How close to naked did the girls get at Ground Zero?
I like leather bra, a panty set, if that's what you call it. I don't know if you'd call it panties or what you call it.
I followed you when you said leather bra and panty set. I did.
That type of thing.
Well, I'll be damned. This kind of thing is all very new to me, so I apologize if I have no idea what I'm talking about. And I'm not sure if this guy was trying to be funny or trying to be a prick, or maybe the guy is just insane. But the word is, and I hope you can follow this, the word is some effing guy in New York tried to use a video of an AI character to argue a court case for him. And it pissed off the judges and everyone else involved.
It's weird how he thought nobody would have a problem with this.
Let me try to explain further. So some dude had a boring employment-related hearing or something in front of the damned New York Supreme Court, which sounds pretty serious to me. He fired up a video of an artificial intelligence-generated character. He played that video on a television set up in the courtroom. The character was a red-haired dude. The real guy wanted to use the video to address the judges, I guess, instead of speaking for himself.
Here's audio of that.
May it please the court. I come here today a humble pro se before a panel of 5 distinguished justices.
Is this, hold on, is that counsel for the case?
I generated that. That is not a real person.
You did not tell me that, sir, and you have appeared before this court and been able to testify verbally. You are not going to use this courtroom as a launch for your business. So if you are able to shut that off, you have 5 minutes.
What a friggin' clown, this guy.
I know.
Did you hear? What did he say again? I generated that. That's not a real person.
No crap.
And he got chewed out.
I love that judge, by the way.
Seems like a lot of the judges are in bad moods, doesn't it? Oh, I suppose those are just the ones that go viral.
You can tell
Judge
instantly, too, by the voice and the look of it.
As you heard, the judges figured out pretty quickly that something was off. Yeah, I generated that. Did that myself on my computer. The real guy, who must have something wrong with him, he later apologized to the court. He said he didn't have a lawyer representing him, so he had to present his legal arguments himself, and he felt the AI character would be able to deliver the presentation better. Dude says he has Dana, think about this now. Dude says he has issues with mumbling, stumbling, and tripping over his words.
What? I can't relate to that whatsoever.
You better make an AI buddy.
I mean, it's impressive he knew how to do that. I wouldn't even know what website to go to.
Are you kidding me? I'd be completely lost. Originally, real dude, said that he tried to generate a digital replica that looked like him.
Now, that would have been impressive.
See, to me, that seems worse, doesn't? Like, that would make them more mad.
Oh, yeah. I think they would have even gotten... He said he was unable to accomplish that before the hearing. So instead, he had this smiling, young-looking, red-haired man, fake man, AI character with a nice-looking hairdo, well-dressed, that whole gimmick. This is just silly. Absolutely silly.
It's crazy, that stuff, how far it's come, though. If I were to create one of myself, it would have a bulge. It would be distracting. I'd be standing there in front of the judge. Everybody would be looking at it. A lot of hung jury jokes, that kind of thing.
Well, you're right about that. I mean, every day I learn a little bit of something. Well, every day is an exaggeration. But every week or so, you learn something new about AI voices and AI characters, and you pass this information on. It's progressing quickly.
It disturbs me. I'm not a huge fan of AI.
It disturbs all of us. It's bizarre to think that someone can perfectly mimic your voice, your appearance. You know, there's been new rules written into radio broadcasting because of it, has there not, Josh?
Yeah, and, they're still trying to figure it out. So right now it's more just company policy versus FCC rules.
Okay.
And I'm sure there are some, but as far as, like, what we've talked about here. But, I mean, I've experimented with those voices. It's cool to have, like, other voices to use places. And some of it doesn't sound legit, but there's some that it's uncanny.
Yeah, don't they say they just need like 30 seconds of somebody talking in order to perfectly mimic?
Like 30 minutes.
30 minutes, is that it?
Okay. Yeah, that's not terrifying at all for us, where people can hear our voices and record them pretty easily.
Although somebody did that for me, and it didn't sound... I was hoping it would sound better. It sounded worse, believe it or not. So it's
someone tried to mimic...
That's kind of good. I like that it sounded worse, Josh.
Well, the difference is, like, when you're training the AI to use your voice, it has certain sentences, so it can pick up on all the different inflections and stuff like that, and pauses and things, things of that nature.
I'm sorry, you have to forgive me. So someone played you an AI version of you.
They said, "Do you recognize this voice?" And I did not at all.
Okay, so it wasn't as spot on as we all fear it eventually will be.
Well, and I'm sure if somebody knew how to do it better, it would.
And you're good at recognizing your own voice.
Because I hate it.
Yeah, because of how much you hate it.
Well, he can pick it out of
my ears, yeah.
Before we go, here's a town name for you. Pahrump, Nevada. Sounds terrible. Some asshat got himself arrested for having a pile of so-called emotional support tigers on his property.
Tigers are my emotional support animals. I rescued those tigers from Joe Exotic, the Tiger King.
What is that? A telephone call the guy made or something? He had a gang of emotional support tigers on his property, so he was arrested. He also tried to fight a cop, and that didn't help his cause at all, of course. The dude by the name of Coral, he had none of the proper permits that a feller would need to keep 7 and the Ragged Tigers on his property. What band? 7 and the Ragged Tiger. 651-989-9393. I'll give you a hint. 1983. 7 and the Ragged Tiger.
I bet your sister.
Oh, she knows. Yeah. Dude had 7 tigers on his property, none of the proper permits. He claims some of the tigers, as you heard there in the audio, used to belong to that exotic Joe doofus, like that matters to anyone.
That kind of makes me sad because, they were struggling over there. And I imagine if you don't have all of the permits to have the tigers, you're probably not the best caregiver either. So they're just having a bad life.
Well, Joe Exotic said, no, those weren't my tigers. He's already denied. Good. And he's, a pretty believable character.
Yeah.
I love that. They reached out to him. He's like, nope, not mine.
Impeccable reputation on that one.
By the way, former baggage handling Jesus was the correct to answer. That's not how I say it. Former baggage handling Jesus was the first to the correct answer of Duran Duran. Their record from 1983, 7 and the Ragged Tiger, went to number 1. The lead single, I believe, was The Union of the Snake. Okay, the cops didn't plan to arrest Carl with his 7 non-permitted tigers. They just showed up to take the tigers away. But then Carl dumped some threats on the cops because he's a tough guy, so they had to tune him up. Carl said the cats were his emotional support animals. I'm not buying it. There are plenty of people who benefit from an emotional support animal, but there are plenty of others who just use that gimmick to their advantage because they're stupid idiots. And I believe Carl is just one of those stupid idiots. The Tigers were taunted and then taken to what they call here an out-of-state sanctuary.
I mean, it'd be kind of cool to have I didn't know you could just throw emotional support on an awesome animal.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I didn't know you could just pick one.
It's not quite as trendy as it was a few years ago. But, that was a big thing for a while.
Yeah, you could just pick your favorite animal, whatever. That's my emotional support monkey.
Right. Oh, yeah, that was a bit. I'm surprised you didn't notice that.
I noticed. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of, but can you do that? This is my emotional support hippopotamus.
You can try. You can certainly try.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
And what do we have? A pitch time violation on Woods Richardson. That's going to be ball 4. And Rocco will leave the dugout. And Vasquez, he's in the face of Nick Lentz. Rocco's in there as well. And I don't think Rocco's going to be long for this game. And Rocco's been tossed.
The Twins are just not a terribly impressive baseball team right now. Lost in Kansas City last night by a 4-2 final. Rocco got thrown out the ball game.
Rocco!
I understand he ended up going. I missed this. I must have been tuned over to the basketball game or something for a minute or two. But from what I understand, he went back to the dugout and threw some garbage on the ball field. I like that part.
Yeah.
Throw all the spitters out there. I don't know, whatever else is laying around.
Ew. Gross.
Have the umps pick up the spitters. You want to start trouble, you can pick up all our friggin' spitters. Got a little Copenhagen in this one, Kodiak in this one, Grizzly, Skull, whatever you want, ump. It's all yours.
Oh, they're still warm.
Oh. Yeah.
Awesome.
So we'll talk to Glen Perkins at 7:30. He's pissed. Tonight, Pablo Lopez will try to get things going for the Twins against the Royals. Hell of a college basketball game last night. University of Florida. God, I hate Florida. But they got the win. That's their third national championship. Hell of a game. We'll talk up and down at 7:30 when Randy Shaver shows up. Timberwolves play at the Milwaukee Bucks tonight.
Timberwolves.
7 o'clock. The game will be televised on the FanDuel channel. What the hell was the slogan that a Bucks fan dumped on me at a Wolves-Bucks game a couple of years ago? Oh, yeah. I forgot. I was at the game here in town, Bucks playing against the Timberwolves, and a drunk Bucks fan just walked up to my face and said, "Hey, bro, I think this was it. Fear the deer."
That's what they go with, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, fear the deer. I had to give him Nux, Cubby.
I like that,
you know
too.
what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I said, what up, bro? We got to take a break. Josh's News is coming up next.
93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Nice.
93X.
Nice.
Well, there's my beautiful podcast, people. Everybody good? All right, great to hear. Thanks, as always, for listening to the podcast. And, of course, thanks to our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning for making it all possible. Can we believe it's April already? And like the old saying goes, April showers brings gross, disgusting humidity and heat in May. Beat the heat and the summer rush. Have Standard Heating and Air Conditioning out to work on that AC soon. April is the best month to get your air conditioning wrenched on before the huge summer rush starts. So get on that today. Go to standardheating.com and schedule that AC tune-up. Thanks for listening. We love you podcasters. Enjoy the show.
Are you someone who tries to drive while distracted by your phone? Someone who props it on the steering wheel or peeks down at it for a glance? Or just scrolls and scrolls? If so, you could be the next person to get into a fender bender, get a ticket, veer off the road, or even cause a crash that kills you or someone else. Enough already. Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
The Sean Ryan Show presents Peak Points. Get timeless inspiration from the very best of The Sean Ryan Show.
September 11th happens. What is the first thing that went through your head?
September 12th, I'm going back in the military.
Talk about being recruited by the cartel. How do you cope?
Just learning how to find a new normal.
One of the most tragic events in American firefighter history.
You know what comes after.
You have this beautiful life. You have these horrible experiences, yes, but you can do something with them for the greater good.
The Sean Ryan Show Peak Points. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Idly ho, neighborinos.
93X.
Half-assed morning show.
Nicotine gum, diabetic strips, high-priced items, although smaller in nature. He would then pick out an item from the shelf, such as a trash can. In one instance, it was a mailbox. Then take all those items, stick it into the box with the larger item, and then take that, pay for it, and walk out of the store.
Looks like a Georgia thief wasn't able to live up to his quick name. Police, with an assist from Walmart's asset protection team, nabbed 40-year-old Speedy Gonzalez after he was caught.
You gotta be kidding me.
That's his real name.
You gotta be kidding me.
After he was caught stealing from several Walmart stores across North Georgia. If you're not aware, Speedy Gonzalez is also the name of a famously fast Looney Tunes animated mouse who made his first appearance in a 1953 cartoon. And that's what he'd say before he ran real fast.
Was Yosemite Sam one of the officers who apprehended Speedy Gonzalez?
He said that boy was about as sharp as a bowling ball. Unfortunately for this guy, he wasn't as quick as the fastest mouse in all of Mexico. So cops caught up with the Georgia Gonzalez. No problem. Officials say not-so-Speedy Gonzalez swiped a whole lot of merchandise before his luck ran out.
Speedy Gonzalez was responsible for over 20 thefts around the North Georgia area. Multiple Walmart stores ranging upwards of $20,000 in theft.
He's now sitting in jail facing felony theft charges.
Well, that is a name that I never imagined would be hooked up to a live human being.
Yeah, I wonder if he changed that at some point or if that's what Mom and Dad gave him. Speedy Gonzalez.
That was a heck of a strategy he had, though. That was kind of smart. Throw all those little expensive things into a garbage can or something and walk out with it. It's kind of brilliant.
Well, it's been going on for a while, Dana, but I was on the force.
Oh, that's so true. You had training, yeah.
A cocky Tennessee fugitive was arrested after police say he posted pictures on social media challenging them to come find him. So they did. When the 25-year-old brazenly taunted law enforcement on social media, he probably didn't expect they'd take the challenge seriously, but they were happy to oblige, and it ended with his arrest. Devin Bart posted photos and messages online, saying authorities would have to track him down if they wanted to jail him. So the Shelby County Sheriff's Office did just that. Called his bluff and arrested him on Friday. Bart was wanted on a domestic-related assault warrant after an incident involving his ex-girlfriend. Authorities say he showed up at her workplace, shouted obscenities, snatched her wallet, tossed her debit card into a gutter, and made off with the keys to a rental car she was driving. "We take all warrants and the law very seriously," said the chief deputy. "Evading deputies isn't a game. Ignoring the law has serious consequences," he said. Bart's taunting posts have since been deleted, but the internet and the sheriff's office so far haven't let him forget it that easily.
That's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah.
Come get me.
Oh, they're here.
Yeah.
A 19-year-old in Utah is facing criminal charges after he returned a high-speed chase into a social media stunt, filming himself fleeing from officers, pretending he was in a video game. A cop tried to stop a car with no license plate back in February. Instead of pulling over, the driver hit the gas, ran a red light, and nearly caused a crash. He then sped off, racing up to 95 miles an hour, which led to officers backing off due to safety reasons. Over a month later, March 23rd, another law enforcement agency received a strange email. It contained several videos which appeared to be from the chase. In one, the driver's recording himself as the car accelerates, casually mentioning the cops are on his tail. In another, he holds up a handgun and says, "I'm in Grand Theft Auto, bro," comparing the real-life chase to the infamous video game. A third video shows flashing lights in his rearview mirror as he films the pursuing police. All the clips were also shared on social media. Investigators later learned the car had been wrapped in brown during the chase, but afterward, the suspect removed the wrap in what appears to be an attempt to disguise his vehicle. Now, like the rogue eyebrow hair I plucked over the weekend, it's gray. Cops still caught up with him and made the arrest.
He sent these videos to who?
Well, they didn't say if he sent the videos. Somebody emailed them to the cops. So they saw this guy, and then he'd also posted them on social media.
Yeah.
And this was
and that's how they got him.
This was all so he could become a somebody and maybe get an invite to, like, say, the Hawk Tua Girls podcast or something.
Yeah, are you talking about Talk Tua?
I'm sorry, that's a real thing?
I think she has a podcast named Talk Tua.
She sure does.
Boy, am I sorry I'm the one who brought it up.
It was a chaotic scene on the roads of northeast Wisconsin, which ended with a 14-year-old behind bars after 4 separate police pursuits. The action kicked off Friday night when deputies from the county sheriff's office attempted to pull over a vehicle. Rather than comply, the driver hit the gas and sped off. So for safety reasons, they called off the pursuit. Not long after, Two Rivers police spotted the same vehicle. Again, it fled, and again, the pursuit was terminated. A short while later, deputies caught sight of the car for a third time. But just like before, the 14-year-old refused to stop, leading to yet another brief and canceled pursuit.
This is becoming kind of boring and repetitive at this point.
Yeah, they got him after the 4th time. Round 4 of Wisconsin's Fast and Furious Dairy Drift ended with the officer seeing the car, and this time he decided to pull over.
Okay.
Inside, they found a 14-year-old driver and a 15-year-old passenger who were both taken into custody.
Well, they had their fun.
Yeah, he got away 3 times.
Jesus Christ.
A Texas man ended up in hot water right after putting his girlfriend in it. Alexander McDavid is 35 years old. His wrinkly lover, 67.
Whoa.
Ooh, is that right?
According to a arrest report, the couple were mid-argument at their apartment when McDavid told her she was talking too much and he wanted her to stop. So he decided to let a bowl of scalding soup do the talking for him. As she pulled the bowl of soup from the microwave, McDavid swiped at the bowl, sending the piping hot contents onto her shoulder and forearm, leaving her with third-degree burns. Owie. The victim, who had been dating McDavid for about a year, reported that incident, and he was arrested last Thursday.
Now you got no soup?
Maybe they've got
sucks.
some backup soups.
Now you got no 67-year-old girlfriend either anymore.
I hope she dumps him. Sounds
How
like she's
about
been
that?
putting up with a lot in the last year. This guy's a piece of garbage.
You didn't happen to see any pictures of these two, did you?
I saw the guy.
Yeah?
They didn't have a picture.
Handsome?
He's fine looking.
Really?
By fine, I mean, just okay.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with him.
How about that?
I mean, personality-wise, a lot wrong with him.
Yeah.
A 39-year-old Ontario woman who made headlines last year for stealing $50 from a little boy's birthday card is wanted by police again. Janel McManus was sentenced to 3 months in jail last summer after walking into an apartment where a 9-year-old boy and his 13-year-old sister were home alone. She helped herself to the boy's birthday money, taken straight from a card, while the kids watched. The children's dog started barking, prompting the older sister to come downstairs to find that stranger, McManus, standing in their living room. Along with the birthday cash, she left with a prescription bottle and a glucose monitor.
A what?
Yeah, I took a glucose monitor. I guess somebody had diabetes. You know exactly who you're stealing from, the prosecutor said at the time. I find that to be repugnant, she said. In court, McManus, who was a first-time offender at that time, tearfully claimed she thought she was at her old apartment.
Oh, she was high on drugs?
Oh.
They didn't say that for sure. She said that she had no idea why she went there, but took a cab and somehow convinced herself she was home. Probably drugs.
It's got to be.
She apologized, saying she wished she could erase that day altogether. But that wasn't the end of her story. She was later one of 5 people arrested in connection to a weapons-related incident. Now she's wanted again, this time on a fresh bench warrant tied to a new, unrelated charge.
So she maybe isn't the, amateur that she portrayed herself to be?
Yeah, not quite as innocent as she'd hope people would believe.
F me running.
That
takes some balls just to walk up and snatch some kid's birthday money.
Right in front of them.
Balls or meth rocks or whatever you want to call it.
3 teenage delinquents presumably took time away from TikTok to jump the Easter Bunny at a Florida mall.
No.
What do you mean jumped it? I can't wait to hear what that means.
The 24-year-old mall employee, just trying to survive her shift in a sweaty, oversized rabbit suit, was on her way to the break room when two 13-year-olds and a 14-year-old rolled up and started pushing her and pulling the bunny costume right off her. Right there to ruin Easter in front of everybody.
That is so messed up.
I apologize. I thought you meant literally jumped, like with a car or a skateboard or something.
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry.
I never considered that.
I'm a friggin' moron.
Or
So
maybe like bunnies hop. Maybe you thought that kind of.
I don't know. Maybe I watched too much ESPN2 recently or something. I was thinking motorsports or something.
Or Dukes of Hazzard.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. So they just beat up
Duke of Dukes of Hazzard's birthday today. John Schneider. 65.
They beat up the Easter Bunny.
They did.
That's even funnier.
It is kind of funny.
This poor woman.
Yes, the fact that it's a woman. When I first read the headline, I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of funny. But then when I saw it was a woman, and I hope the kids, when she took the mask off, they realized they were beating up a chick. They felt bad about it.
No word on why the teens chose to assault the costumed seasonal employee.
That is the creepiest of all the mall, what are they?
Characters?
Like mascots that ain't out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I look back at actually just this weekend I was looking back at old pictures of me and my family, and gosh, that Easter Bunny is terrifying. And some of those, I'm surprised my mom let me sit on its lap.
I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm not afraid of the Easter Bunny.
Police in Iowa City said a 19-year-old was arrested after he stole a street sign and tried to use a fake ID when officers approached him. Police say Tyler Benhart was spotted walking down the street, suspiciously toting the sign like a trophy. When they stopped him, cops quickly noticed something was off. He reeked of alcohol, had bloodshot eyes, slurred speech, and looked far from sober. And then things didn't get better for him from there. When asked for ID, he confidently handed over a fake driver's license and insisted it was legit. A search turned up 2 fake IDs, along with a nicotine vape, a THC vape pen, and still in his possession, the stolen street sign. I'd imagine it's got to be like a 69th Street, Hawktua Trail, something of that nature.
Yeah, usually.
Those are the signs.
Usually.
Now he's facing a crap ton of charges, which includes possession of a stolen item, possession of fake IDs, and underage possession of alcohol and vapes.
I was at a thrift store or an antique store the other day, and they had street signs there that you could buy. I thought that was very illegal.
I don't know. It must not be.
I guess maybe if you get it from like a construction worker or something along those lines.
I don't follow the rules on something like that. I wouldn't know.
A 17-year-old's recovering after falling about 20 feet through a grate inside an old building which once belonged to the Ford assembly plant in St. Paul. Firefighters were initially told the teen couldn't walk after the fall, but when they arrived, the situation wasn't quite as dire. The teen was alert and responsive, though banged up and taken to the hospital with multiple injuries. He's going to be okay. He or she, I guess, I don't know. It's not clear what exactly the teen was doing inside, but the site is a known hotspot for urban explorers. People who venture into abandoned places for the thrill and curiosity.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
This particular building is one of a few remaining pieces of the Ford Twin Cities assembly plant, which shut down in 2011. Most of the facility was torn down, making way for new housing, but some structures remain, and they're not exactly safe. It's not the first time someone's gotten hurt there. In May 2021, a group of explorers got stuck in the same building. One person had to be hospitalized. Firefighters continue to urge people to stay away from the old unsecured buildings. Beyond the risk of falling through a weak floor or grate, they say there's danger of exposure to hazardous materials like asbestos.
Yeah, what the hell are you doing in there?
A 29-year-old man was enjoying a day out with his dog at a Colorado National Monument when their getaway met gravity. The man opened his car door and his dog unexpectedly zoomed straight off the edge of a nearby cliff. Before he could react, she fell more than 100 feet, landing on a rocky shelf below. In a panic, the man called for help. Police were first on the scene. They tried to reach her with a dog-catching pole, but it wasn't nearly long enough. That's when Mesa County Search and Rescue stepped in. With ropes and gear in tow, the team carefully climbed down the cliffside and reached the stranded pup.
Utterly thankful for everything they did. Kind of makes me a little teared up a little just to think about how selfless they were.
She was rushed to an emergency vet clinic with just a few scrapes and bruises, and the vet said she's going to be just fine. She fell 100 feet, bruises and scrapes. That's all she got.
That's good, at least.
Dog off a cliff. Put that on the list of something I've never seen in person.
That would be
I
terrifying.
don't ever want to.
If you watch the video, too, when they show the part where they get her up over the top off the ledge and they finally get her all the way back up, her tail's just wagging like nothing happened. Just very excited.
They do that when they're frightened.
David Letterman's My Next Guest Needs No Introduction is back on Netflix today with Letterman sitting down with WNBA star Caitlin Clark.
I loved Halloween, so when we trick-or-treated in Des Moines growing up, my dad would completely lose me in the neighborhood, and I would show back up at home, and my mom would be there giving out candy, and my mom would get pissed at my dad because it's like, why did you lose our daughter? Why is she running through the neighborhood by herself? But it was because I was just trying to beat everybody.
Wow. So you're still like that?
Well, I don't trick-or-treat anymore.
Text LIFE. Oh, I thought that was cute.
I'm just being a dick. I don't know.
Text LIFE to 651-989-9393. The word LIFE, L-I-F-E, for a chance to win premium tickets to Rise of the Roach Tour with Papa Roach and Rise Against, Sunday, April 13th at XL Energy Center, presented by 93X. Plus, you'll be qualified for a chance to meet Papa Roach, thanks to the folks at Dennis Kirk.
93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse.
93X rocks.
Oh, Lord, please.
93X.
You're listening to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. Traffic is brought to you by Youngsteads.
Turn on her microphone.
That mic's not working.
Push her up closer to the microphone, maybe. Walk her over to a microphone.
The mic wasn't working because this place is trash.
Since when?
There's a crash in Maple Grove, 94 eastbound at Weaver Lake Road, and a crash in Blaine, Highway 10 eastbound at Long Lake Road.
Can't hear her.
That's your traffic? This is 93X.
I'm kidding. You sound great, Ashley.
I know.
Pass the mic back to me.
Give the microphone back to Dana.
And I will let you know that traffic is also brought to you by Xfinity.
And now a Minnesota Twins update. We're talking Twins with former All-Star closer, Glen Perkins.
Glen Perkins.
On 93X. Play ball!
Woo! You know, we have problems here. A lot of technical problems. And it's worse than it's ever been. But many, many years ago, I had to split a microphone with someone.
No way.
Yeah. We were down to only 2 working microphones. So me and one of Randy Shaver and Janel Klein's old co-workers, me and Tim McNiff, had to pretty much go face-to-face sharing the same microphone like George Harrison and Paul McCartney used to have to do singing backup for the Beatles. We were just lip-to-lip, me and that little sock monkey Tim McNiff. So, Ashley and Dana, I think it'd be adorable if you two would just sit hip-to-hip and share a microphone for the rest of the...
Hilarious.
We're so lucky around here, Cubby, to have so many wonderful pals who enjoy spending time with us. Well, Randy Shaver's getting paid for this, so it's more of a business relationship than anything else.
Hey, I'm pulling my share.
You do all right, but it's more of a business relationship that we have. We're not really close in any way.
Okay.
Right? But Janel Klein and C. Willi Myles are in studio. They show up out of love, not money or fame. Thank you so much, Janel and C. Willi.
Oh, man.
The both of you look great. You look great.
My man.
And also, talking Twins baseball every Tuesday this season. Local pimp and former Twins All-Star Glen Perkins. Hello, Glenn.
Hey, that's the best introduction I think I've ever gotten.
All right, let's ask Glenn. Is Glenn showing up because he wants to?
I'm wondering if you're going to ask if Corey and I share a microphone when we're doing games. But local pimp, huh?
Yeah, that's you.
Okay.
That's you. Wouldn't that be something if you and Corey had to share a headset? How in the hell would you do that? Don't you wear the headsets on television, or do you have a big fat mic in your mug?
Corey actually does. He wears a mic, so he's got the in-ears and then a mic, and then I wear a headset on TV, and when I do radio, I wear the in-ears and use a mic.
Okay,
so
all right.
It's kind of personal preference.
Where are you still out on the East Coast?
No, I'm back in Minnesota now.
How did you enjoy your time? Because I think the last time we spoke with you, you were going to Washington, D.C. and New York City.
Yes, we were in New York City. We went to Washington, D.C. for a hockey tournament, which my daughter, they ended up winning. So it was a great trip. It was we had a lot of fun out there, and happy to be back home, though. It was between being in Florida for spring training, St. Louis for opening day, and then spring break, it was 16 out of 17 nights on the road for me. So I was happy to get home on Sunday.
God dang. Yeah, that's a lot of travel.
A lot of bouncing around.
What did you play when you were a hockey player growing up? What position?
I did not. You know what? I did not. I was one of the few Minnesotans, I think, that didn't play hockey.
Oh, I thought someone said that you laced them up and this and that.
No. I'll play occasionally with some guys in the winter, but hardly at all. Like pickup hockey, I could skate, as any Minnesotan should, but I never played hockey. I didn't know a thing about hockey. The first hockey game I ever went to was when I was in college. I went to a Gopher men's game during my freshman year. That was the first hockey game I ever went to.
What year was your freshman year?
2001.
Oh, for Christ's sake! Well, then you were watching the national title guys go at it.
Yeah, it was a good year to start watching hockey.
Yeah. So, are you kind of an ankle burner out there?
I don't even know what that means.
The man tells you he doesn't know anything about hockey. That's two of us.
Literally nothing.
You never heard that term, an ankle burner?
No. Is that? I'm guessing that must be like somebody that's quick.
No.
No.
Nope.
I've been told I look like an ankle burner before.
Usually when someone begins to skate, they don't quite have the balance, and they kind of skate on their ankles a little bit, if you can picture that, Glenn.
Oh, like wobbly.
Yeah, kind of wobbly, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not that, no. Huh?
Okay, you got it down.
I can skate. I can turn going forward. I can cross over one direction, and then going backwards, I can cross over the other direction.
Oh, nice.
See, yeah, you got it down. Randy Shaver, you can't do any of those things, can you?
Absolutely not, no.
No.
Yeah, it's like I would need to play like right wing because I can cross over, going to the left, and then I would need to play left D because I can only cross
That's
over. That's
hilarious.
Right. So yeah, it's not good. It's the only thing I could ever do is throw a baseball.
Okay,
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I could throw a baseball. That's about it.
Well, you did it well enough to become an all-star. For God's sake, that's what else do you need? What did you do in the winter then, if you didn't play hockey?
There was a baseball field on Rice and Arlington. Steve Winfield had that dome, and I played in a baseball league. I was never tall enough to play basketball. I was never fast. So I played as much baseball as I could, and it was Rice and Arlington at the dome in the winter on the weekends.
Was it always pitching, or do you have ambitions of being, a quick shortstop or anything like that?
I was being a lefty. I tried to catch one year. Like one of the first years that we had kid pitch, like 5th or 6th grade, I tried to be a catcher, and I actually hit a kid when I was trying to throw the ball back to the pitcher. And so that was it. Like that was like, no, left-handers aren't catchers. And so then I probably played some outfield, but I would try to pitch as much as I could.
Hey, Perk, tell them you just did what you did, man. That's what you did. You were a pitcher, and you knew your lane, and you stayed in it.
I did. I mean, that was it. Like I didn't even hit in high school. It was right. Like I don't hit. I just pitch. So if you want me to pitch, I'll do that. Find somebody else to hit for me. When I'm not pitching, I'm going to sit on the bench.
See, Willi Myles knows everybody. Are you and Glenn met before?
No, I've not had the pleasure of. I've been in the same room with Glenn, but I've never met him.
Okay. Did you ever skate, see, Willi?
God, no. I'm from Alabama.
Well, yeah. But when you were 19 years old, you moved to Minnesota, St.
Absolutely. But, brother, when you grow up 18 years before you put on blades, I can roller skate. You give me 4 wheels underneath me. I'll do, that's what we did down south. Roller derby. I actually was kind of a cool little amateur roller derby when I was in high school.
Roller derby. On a cool outfit and everything.
You talking about
an outfit on,
knocking each other around?
Yeah, or we go around in a little 90-meter track.
Yeah. Well, what about like the disco dancing type of roller?
Yeah, that. Everybody down south. I mean, you could. That's like. You can't. You got to roller skate and know how to play spades. Otherwise, you're out of the black community. Period.
They kick you out.
Those are 2 things that one of them you got to be able to do. If you can't roller skate and do it backwards and bounce,
was there a particular song that got you out there every time?
Oh, all the songs, man. They had all the just the roller dance songs. Every song came on. Mostly a lot of what's her name? She's dead now, but anyway, she was like the roller derby queen.
Janel Klein, were you kind of like a baby cow on ice when you?
Norwegian Jeez. Oh my gosh,
Nick, did you just walk up and choose violence this morning?
Yeah. Do you want to rephrase that, maybe?
Have any of you ever seen a baby cow on ice?
Yes,
It's friggin' adorable.
And they're small.
Oh my gosh.
Not big.
Wow.
Hey, you're the ones who took it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Ashley and I understand that a baby cow on ice is the most huggable thing on planet Earth.
Yeah, that's perfect.
You guys are all thinking, how are you on blades?
I mean, to be fair, we all know what a terrible athlete I am. So, yeah, for sure below average.
Can you skate backwards?
Yes, but not well.
Well, there you go. That's something. I could never do that.
Yeah, but for growing up here, I should be a really good skater. I'm not.
I'd have put either one of you on my beer league team, Janelle or C. Willie. I'd have put either one of you on my beer league team.
Skating?
Yeah, we would have had some fun. Well, you would have got the hang of it.
I'd have broke my ankles.
You'd have got the hang of it.
No.
Could be the goalie, see Willie.
All right, Glenn.
No, yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, goaltenders. Everyone needs a goaltender.
I could do that in tennis shoes.
Glen friggin' Perkins on the telephone line. The Twins are just not a terribly impressive baseball team right now. Lost in Kansas City last night by a final of 4-2. Rocco got thrown out the ball game, which I always enjoy. There's nothing more fun than the manager getting thrown out the game, right, Glenn?
Yes. There's something special about that, right? Like it doesn't happen in other sports.
No.
And I got to play for the majority of my career with the best ever at getting thrown out of games. The most entertaining. I don't think that got thrown out the most. I think that's Bobby Cox. But Gardy was the most entertaining when he would throw his hat and start kicking his feet. And yeah, I love it. I love that. I think that can, if done in the right way at the right time, can motivate a team. I feel like that more often than not, when Gardy got kicked out, it was to spark us. It wasn't even that he thought the umpire was right or wrong. It was the boys need a spark, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to give them one.
And I think that's clearly what Rocco was doing last night.
Yeah, there was some sort of miscommunication with the headset, the whatever they call that thing now, the pitch comm.
Right.
But they look like they need a spark. I kind of think that's what they're missing right now is kind of that drive, that like I want to go out there and beat their ass type of feeling. Go get it instead of letting it try to come to you. Be aggressive. I think that we've seen Byron Buxton play very aggressive this year, and I think Harrison Bader has been the other one that's bringing energy. But I'd like to see that from more guys, that it's not – baseball is funny because it's a marathon, but it's also a sprint. Each game is a sprint inside of a marathon, and you kind of have to just get lost in each game and grinding out each game, and before you know it, then the season's over. You can't think about it like we're doing this every day for the next 6 months, so we can't put our foot on the gas every moment. And that, to me, feels like what's missing right now. That there's some complacency, that they just don't seem to have fire.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And that you need that. You need to go out there and want to whoop on the other team. You want to be able. You want to go out there and beat those guys. Not just win the game, but beat them. And you have to take that attitude into every game.
I think I read the 3-7 starts is the worst start to a season since the club went 3-9 in the year of 2016.
1-9.
1-9?
Yeah, I think they went 1-9 to start 2016, and
Let's ask the guy who was there.
That's.
I think we talked about this last week because they were 0-4 or something, and we were 0-9 that year. So
yeah, 1-9 in the first 10 games.
Hopefully, like one of these Tuesdays we won't be referencing like the worst Twins team in the last 50 days.
We got to have some good times at one point or another here.
Well, they finished.
At some point, they're going to turn it around, and then we can stop talking. We'll start talking about like 1987 or 1991.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't like talking about 2016 when we lost like 100 games.
Yeah, they lost 103 that year.
Let it go. Let it go.
He's like, look, I've been on the air with you for 3 weeks. All we talk about is the worst season of my friggin' career.
Hey, not your guys' fault.
No.
It was our fault.
The station I was on at the time, we had the Twins on the station, so we interviewed Paul Mahler every Friday in 2016, and oh, man, we were running out of things to talk about by come August and September.
Oh, I imagine it wasn't easy.
No, but he was a good sport about it. He would, we'd laugh and, just point out the obvious. Yeah, this stinks.
Starting pitchers.
I think you mean May 10th when you say August or September. I think you got to think.
The Twins' starting pitchers aren't sticking around for very long. They're last in the bigs as far as innings pitched by starters.
Something we thought was going to be a strength going into the season, and they haven't gotten out. They haven't hit the ground running. I have confidence in, especially the top of the rotation, in Pablo, Bailey Ober, Joe Ryan. I have a lot of confidence in those guys. The other two, I think Simeon Woods Richardson had a good season last year. I think that second season is always interesting to see how that plays out. And then Chris Paddock struggled last year in a lot of the same ways. Wasn't able to get deep into games. So I don't think where he's at right now is a huge surprise to me. I'm surprised in the other guys. Like I want to see more out of the other guys. I think Bailey Ober took a step forward in his last start. He had good stuff. He got swings and misses. Those were good things. We're still looking for the Pablo Lopez that we saw 2 years ago, his first year in a Twins uniform when he was a Cy Young candidate. We haven't seen him again. We didn't see that Pablo really last year, maybe until the second half of the season. And Joe Ryan coming back from the injury that ended his season last year in August. I think give those guys a couple more starts. Let them get their feet underneath them, get into the grind of the season. But you definitely, it's all of these guys. You want them to come out of the gates quicker, and it's a theme now. The last 4 seasons, they've struggled coming out of the gate, and then you have to dig yourself out of the hole. You do have a lot of time to do that in baseball, but it's a heck of a lot easier if you start out 7-3 than you do 3-7. You can build momentum early in the season and work off of that.
Yeah, luckily the division doesn't look to be the toughest in history.
That's kind of what keeps them in it. That's what's kept them in it the last couple of years, is that nobody else is running away with it.
Right.
And I was texting with Justin Morneau last night, and we were kind of just going over what's happened so far, how's this season looked. I said I think they're going to be similar to last year without maybe the midseason run and the late season collapse. And it's not a team that's going to go out there and win 100 games. They're not built like that. I don't think that was their expectations. They need to try to find a way to play better baseball, play more inspired baseball, and stay healthy. And, it's 10 games out of 160.
Right.
But you say that, it's 20 games out of 160. It's 30. The things still add up quick. And so you want to see them kind of turn this thing around sooner than later, because teams that start out slow can start to get down on themselves, and that can head in a bad direction, and we don't want to see that.
You were texting with Morneau last night. That reminds me, Ashley wants to know if you'll give us Kepler's number.
Yeah, please. I promise I won't be weird at all.
Oh, that sounds like a bad idea.
Can we have Max Kepler and Byron Buxton and Brian Dozier's phone number? I'm kidding.
You want those 3?
No, I'm kidding. Don't worry about it.
Ashley, if you have to preface something by saying I'm not going to be creepy, you're going to be creepy.
I just want to get some lunch.
Our gal Ashley has been stalking Max Kepler even back when he was living in Germany.
No. I absolutely love the guy.
I'll pull him up on my phone and just read them aloud over the air.
Before we let you go, Glenn, I'm very interested in your response to this text message that we just got from a listener. Our listeners always like to chime in, and we love them for it. And you're a guy who played in the big leagues for a long friggin' time. You tell us, one of our listeners takes on the slow start for the Twins. They say the ownership questions, the current ownership situation may be part of the slow start. Does that make any sense to you as a guy who played the game for many years? Does that kind of thing trickle down into the clubhouse and affect your play on the field?
Got nothing to do with it. I think I like when I played, I knew who the pole lads were because I grew up in Minnesota. I played with guys, and I bet you there's guys on the team right now that wouldn't know one of the pole lads if they walked next to him in the tunnel at Target Field. They have most guys have no idea,
Right.
and then nobody, I can promise you, nobody in that clubhouse cares at all about that situation. Nobody's thinking about that one bit.
Okay.
They know that they're going to get their checks, and they know that they're going to play baseball today and tomorrow and the next day, and that's all that they really care about.
Okay. It's kind of what I thought.
Yep. That's not even a thing.
Oh, that's kind of what I thought. All right, dude. Well, welcome back home, pimp.
Thank you.
The street's been cold.
We've been missing you, and we look forward to seeing you covering the Twins on television tonight. They go again with Kansas City, and Pablo Lopez is going to get the start, and we'll see how that plays out. We always appreciate your time and your laughs, Glen Perkins.
Likewise, y'all. We'll talk to you next week.
You got it, man. Every Tuesday we'll talk to Glenn here on the Half-Assed Morning. Speaking of Glenn, is Glenn Taylor going to buy the Twins?
Yeah, is that a legit rumor?
Is that a real thing, Randy Shaver?
I just don't see Glenn Taylor doing that at this point in his life. I just don't. You know, if Glenn Taylor had someone to hand it down to, that might be different. You know, if it was more of a family situation like the pole lads. But I just don't see that right now. He's got enough. He owns the Star Tribune. He's got obviously his businesses. I just don't see him at this point wanting to dive back in.
There's some rumors going around. Cubby, you saw those same rumors.
Yeah, that's the first time I'd heard it.
Something about how the pole lads extended another 45 days to negotiate this, all kinds of businessy stuff that I don't understand.
Sure.
Everyone thought, well, Taylor's about ready to sell the Twins to Jennifer Lopez and Alex River, so maybe he'll go over and I don't friggin' know. All right, we'll continue on with some baseball here for just a minute or two, and then we'll get to...
By the way, just to go back to that 2016 season real quick for the Twins.
Yes.
That was not a bad ball club. The fact that they won only 59 games is amazing. I mean, Brian Dozier had the year of his life that year.
Oh, is that when he hit 45, home runs?
Yeah, he hit 42 home runs. He drove in 99 runs. You know, Mauer was a little bit hurt during that season, but played 134 games. You know, Buck was only 22 years old. I mean, they had some players on that team.
I remember, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, they got off to a terrible start, and they just could not get out of the gate. Just could not.
I'm sure this kid's parents are pumped that this story is making all the sports websites. A New Mexico high school baseball player has been hit with criminal charges for allegedly peeing in the opposite club's water cooler before a game.
Oh, my gosh, come on.
What rival school, rival to Faribault, Janelle, what school are you playing in a big game to where you might pee in their water cooler?
Oh, boy.
Well, I mean, our biggest rival was Owatonna.
Owatonna.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Now, that makes sense.
They've got it coming, too.
If you ask me, they all have it coming in Owatonna. If you ask me, I would pee in a Minnetonka water cooler if you took me back to high school. I would.
North St. Paul, the high school I grew up going to, ours would be Tartan.
Tartan?
Yep. We hated Tartan.
The word is a member of the junior varsity baseball team at a school called Rio Rancho High School in New Mexico. He's facing 15 counts of battery.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Because he hauled out his little acorn and took a squeege in the water bucket that belonged to their rival, La Cueva High School. Every member of the JV team was suspended. The school's not happy about this.
I wouldn't think so.
And an unidentified 16-year-old kid was apparently the one who obviously never heard my late grandmother's slogan. She always said, piss isn't funny, piss is piss. That was a slogan she lived by. This kid admitted to the incident. And the kids who drank the whiz have been encouraged to see a doctor. Because, the PP.
Oh, so it went that far.
I guess
or the other team. Oh, wow.
I guess so. A 16-year-old kid, he might have crotch rot or crabs or something like that.
Jeez. Kids are gross. You never know.
Yeah. So the kids from the opposite club are being encouraged to make an appointment with their doctor if they drank anything out of that water cooler. Wow.
Dude, I can't imagine showing up at the doctor and you know how the receptionist usually asks, so why are you here today? I drank some kid's pee.
I might have consumed some piss, to be totally honest with you. That's why I'm here. Josh, you were reckless with your privates when you were 16.
No, they weren't seen by others at that age.
Did you even have your first kiss yet, Josh?
Yeah, I had my first kiss in first grade.
Oh, all right.
But I mean, you can't. I'm going to count that, even though it wasn't like a passionate kiss.
Passionate kiss. I thought you told.
I got it all done in one evening.
One of the most fascinating facts about Josh: his first passionate kiss with a woman was also the first night that he got it on.
Every single thing.
Whoa. All of it was a first. Trial by fire, one night.
And then I felt so guilty, I told my dad.
Oh, God.
And I begged him for forgiveness.
Yeah,
oh, my gosh.
Always makes me cringe.
Oh, my
Jesus
gosh.
Christ. One night of passion.
If you want to meet a guy that has a guilty conscience, it's me, C. Willie.
My God.
Yeah, I told almost immediately. Dad, I just wrapped up a sin, and I don't know if I'm going to go to hell or not.
All right, Josh, to be honest with you, after I lost my virginity, I also told your dad, too.
You did? I found out he was a source of comfort.
He was.
Who the hell is this, he says, on the other end of the telephone.
This kid better not end up working with my kid one day.
The kid took a squeege in the opposite club's water bucket.
Pretty nasty.
Yeah, that's aggressive.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we never did anything like that. No. We would sing songs in the dugout, I guess. But that's about it.
I'm sorry? You would sing songs in the dugout?
Yeah.
Were like the taunting type of songs?
Yeah, taunting.
Okay.
Ones, yeah, when we played softball. Yep.
Are some bad enough that they're not radio friendly?
I can't really remember them.
You can't remember?
No, well, there was so many.
You can't bring up something like that and then not produce. I mean,
I guess if you give me some time, I could probably remember what one of them
That's fascinating to me that you would sing derogatory songs in the dugout about the club on the other side of the ball field.
Oh, that was the best thing about softball.
That was the best thing about softball.
Yeah.
Camaraderie and the insults.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
Not valuable lessons about teamwork and camaraderie?
Oh, God, no. No, my parents loved it, too.
I mean, I could only think of one little slogan phrase or whatever that we would holler. We wouldn't sing, but we would holler across the ice. I mean, this is when we were like 6th graders or 7th graders. Or you'd holler it in the hallway as you're walking into the locker room. And the other one was stupid. It's totally stupid. No hope for New Hope.
Well, when you're a young person, I bet that felt kind of genius.
When you're 11, you thought that was hilarious, yeah.
You mentioned one where you spelled out a very naughty word in front of parents and everything like that. That one, and you were at a tender young age.
Dude.
How old were you guys?
4th grade.
Oh, gosh.
Wow.
Think of the what? Well, maybe I.
We were 4th graders, and it was our very first game of the year. And, you gather around the net with the goaltender. And someone on the team said, what's our chant going to be? Because every hockey team back then, and I'm guessing still these days, you say 1, 2, 3, let's go, 1, 2, 3, Wyzetta, whatever the hell, rah-rah kind of a thing. So we're standing there, and all our folks are in the stands ready to play our first game, and one kid says, well, what's our chant going to be? And someone recommended this, someone recommended that, and one of the kids on the team recommended that we spell out a 4-letter, very dirty word. Very dirty word. And we all busted out laughing. And so, during that hockey season, before every game, we would spell out this 4-letter dirty word. Give me a non-dirty word I could use as an example, Josh.
A non-dirty word?
Yeah,
duck.
D-U. How do we do it? Oh, this is how we did. Thank you, Ashley. Duck is a great example. We would say, D-U. Now, how do we do it? Here we go. D-U, D-U-C, D-U-C-K. Spells duck. That's what we would do, only we had a horrible, horrible word.
I had come up with a different word than what she used, and I'm going to keep it in the sports realm. Bunt.
Okay, there you go. That's
simply a baseball term.
We're real close now. B-U-B-U-N, B-U-N-T, spells bunt.
Yeah.
That's what we would do as
in
fourth grade kids.
Wow.
I don't think I knew that word in fourth grade.
And I remember my mother saying, what is it that you kids are saying before? I just let's go or something.
Yeah, none of your business.
Did you guys understand the severity of that word at the time?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. You knew it was the filthiest of the filthy.
Oh, absolutely,
okay.
yeah.
I saw a girl have an asthma attack when she was told she was acting like one of those. That is 100% true story. You do?
Yeah, I love using that word, too.
Oh, boy, that's what I would never use.
I don't remember what happened to the kid who recommended we spell bunt before our hockey games, but I remember his face forever. How in God's name did he come up with that? And why did we go along with it?
And you got away with it for a while, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, did you ever get in any trouble?
No.
Other than your mom just asking you?
No, nobody could make it out because we had these tiny little squeaky voices and it was all kind of messy and, it wasn't necessarily always in unison,
Did you try and mask it a little bit?
No, hell no.
I bet a
Didn't
lot
know
of
what that meant.
like you said, you had the squeaky voices, mouth guards, and I bet a lot of parents heard it and were like, no, I must have misheard. There's no way they actually said that.
Wow. Are they spelling? No, they're not spelling out the...
That word and the B word, because when you grow up with 9 sisters, I never had those words in my vocabulary. You let one of those slip out, you go missing.
Oh, yeah. We wouldn't know you right now if you said one of those.
I would not be alive. I had 9 older sisters, brother.
Yeah.
That was one hell of a college championship basketball game last night. The University of Florida did what they've been doing all tournament, sneaking up and beating teams that at least appeared to have them rattled a little bit.
National championship is in the balance. Florida leads it by 2. 6 seconds, 5 seconds, short. He walked, he can't touch it. He can't. 1 second, and it's over. Florida's back on top of the college basketball world. It's a great day to be a Gator. They win the national title. Houston did not get a shot off. Florida 65, Houston 63.
And a pretty spirited crowd there. Wolfpack Softball Jesus is texted in to say when he was a 10-year-old squirt player, and that's how old we were when we did the B-U-N-B-U-N-B-U-N-T. 10-year-old squirt player, he said they got in trouble for saying, shoot, pass, kick some ass.
And that one's cute.
Stupid.
Yours was something else.
This game was fun to watch, and part of what I enjoyed about last night's game, who watched last night's college basketball championship game?
I did.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in the first half, neither team was very disciplined. It was kind of a wide-open-looking game you might see at your neighborhood park. There were a lot of really bad shots and wild dunks and a lot of turnovers. The two teams somehow made an ugly game really entertaining in the first half. That was cleaned up a little bit in the second half. But the Gators were down 12. They were the better ball club late, especially the way they played defense, and I feel awful for that kid from Houston who effed up on the Cougars' final possession.
Well, he just should have taken the shot. I don't know why. I mean, they needed a 3 anyway.
Yeah.
He should have just taken the shot. I think that's what Kelvin Sampson was just like. I mean, it's like he was frozen in time watching the last 15 seconds or whatever it was of the game because his team just did not find a way to even get a shot off. So,
well, that kid from Florida closed out on that free-point attempt.
He's good, that Clayton kid, boy.
He got up in the air, and the Houston kid just froze, and the ball lands on the court, and he can't play that basketball or it's double dribble, and then there's a mad scramble for the ball, game over. I feel bad for him. He looked devastated.
I mean, you have to admit that the semifinals and the final were really fun to watch this year.
Yeah, they were.
I mean, the comeback win over Duke by Houston was incredible. Even Florida had to battle back to beat Auburn in that game. And then to have the finish that they had last night, it's pretty exciting. Pretty good basketball.
Yeah, this was the closest I've paid attention to the NCAA basketball tournament in a few years, and I really liked it. Florida's head coach, a fellow named Golden, He's only 39 years old. He's now the youngest head coach to win a title since NC State's Jim Valvano back in 1983. It's the third national championship for Florida. Houston has now lost 3 title games in 83, in 84, and now in 20-5.
You put that coach up on the victory stand last night with his hat turned around and the black shirt. He looks just like a player. I couldn't even tell he was the coach.
He's a young-looking 39.
Is that the student manager up there?
Yeah. Pretty funny.
Charles Barkley always has to start trouble with the city of San Antonio. Doesn't he, see Willi Myles?
Yeah, he does. He's got a thing with them. I don't know.
He's got a thing. Of course, he's been in town for a few days covering the tournament. He just couldn't leave without making a smart-ass comment about San Antonio's, as he puts it, big old women.
And yes, y'all got some big bitches here.
There he was, Sunday night. He's been doing this gimmick for years, making fun of his perception of the size of the women in San Antonio. On Inside the NBA, he got in trouble a couple times joking around, but as you heard, he was on stage Sunday night at something called the Capital One Jam Fest. Did your band play that show, Josh?
No, we didn't make the cut.
Charles got on the mic and thanked everyone for coming and then said, y'all got some big bitches here.
And yes, y'all got some big bitches here.
And it was a big hit with the crowd. He's got this thing going with San Antonio. It's all in good fun.
Charles got something going in every city he goes in.
By the way, that friggin' commercial they've been running where the, what do they call it, John? The blimp Charles Barkley.
Yes.
That is one of the funniest ads. So the Charles Barkley blimp with a basketball in its outreached arm is flying through the sky towards a massive basket. And then a Magic Johnson blimp shows up to stop Charles from scoring. And when the Magic Johnson comes in contact with the Charles Barkley, the real Charles says, "That's a foul." I love that friggin' ad.
Well, the best part is when they get blinded by Magic's rings,
Right.
and then and Jennifer Garner says, "Let's use our rings," and they go, "We don't have any." that is so funny.
That's hilarious.
Barkley's line is just so perfect.
Oh, I know. That's a foul, he says. If this matters at all to you, Golden Gopher men's basketball landed a kid by the name of Bobby Durkin through that silly transfer portal.
Yeah, he's a pretty good player.
The great news is that he plays basketball. He played at Davidson University last season, and he scored a lot of points and whatnot.
Yeah.
It says here he's 6'7", not a cone.
He's a cone.
And no, he's not a cone.
A pigeon guard.
And he's not a pigeon, Josh.
Are you sure?
That's what I read. You can never be sure of everything that you read, especially on Reddit. The Timberwolves play at the Milwaukee Bucks tonight starting at 7 o'clock. The game will be televised on the FanDuel channel. I'll be watching the Timberwolves.
Huge game. Lots on the line. A lot on the line for the Bucks, too, because the Pistons are right there trying to move up a notch in the East, and the Wolves are still in that play-in game right now. So
friggin' play-in game.
It's crazy.
We're only like 5-6 days away from that play-in tournament.
This is the last week. This is the last week of the regular season. Yeah.
The play-in tournament, see Willi Myles. Are you down or what?
No.
Oh.
They shouldn't be in that situation.
Well, you're right. I wish they weren't in that. But do you enjoy the play-in tournament that they do? I like it.
Yeah, I think it. No, I was kidding. Yeah, I do. I enjoy it.
Why?
I just hate to see good teams. Well, I shouldn't say good teams, but they're not. I hate seeing teams that should not have to be in that situation, because the teams that are in that situation, those are the teams I kind of like to root for. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because they are not a good team.
You want to see the underdogs.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I want somebody to get in there that wasn't supposed to be in there. And the Timberwolves should have. There's no reason why they shouldn't have been in there.
Timberwolves. I know what you're saying. I do.
I'm still bitter at them.
I can tell.
There's a little
It's going to take a couple of years to get over the whole cat thing.
You're upset that they traded
I
Cat?
think they should have ran that team one more time.
I agree.
One more time.
Well, I guess I should say I'm fine with what they have now, but it wouldn't have bothered me if they would have made one more run.
They got there, man.
Wouldn't have bothered.
They got to taste it. They could see it. They were almost there.
They were.
And they were missing a little piece, but the pieces that they bought was not the pieces that they were missing.
I understand completely. All right, we're creeping up on prom season. Janelle, will you go to prom with me?
Oh, totally.
Yeah?
That did not sound sincere.
Is that a high school?
What's insincere?
But Janelle, don't make it so easy for him. He needs to do what the kids do now. He's got to do some sort of production to ask you to prom. That's right.
Promposal, yeah.
Put you on the spot on the radio.
Yes.
That is not cool.
He's got to do a promposal.
Since when is totally not a sincere answer, actually?
Well, it's the quotation marks that she made, the air quotes.
It kind of gave off I was actually going to wash my hair that night vibe.
We should go to adult prom together.
Adult prom.
What does that look like?
I'm not sure. I've never been there, but I've heard stories about it, right, Josh? Adult prom?
Yeah, my friend just went to one.
I've been to them. They're fun.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's adult prom. See Willi Myles.
I've never heard of that before.
You get a bunch of over-the-hill, beer-bellied people into a room together. You give them some liquor. You play the songs that were popular when they were in high school, and then everyone goes home and has sex. That's the adult prom. Bingo.
It gives you an excuse to dress nice and have a night out.
Yeah. It's not that difficult, though. Dana, you went to an adult prom?
Yeah, every year.
That makes total sense.
Every year, my favorite arcade has one, and it's always a blast.
Yeah? Oh. Do you wear your Pac-Man suit?
Oh, good. Don't ask questions you know the answer to.
Janela and I are going to go to adult prom. A high school in, I'm guessing, California, but it's actually never mentioned in the article, has come up with an original theme for their prom. Now, I remember the theme for my senior prom. It was the Enchantment Under the Sea dance back on November 12th, 1955. And my alma at Hill Valley High School, Josh. I've told you stories about Hill Valley and my prom night.
Hill Valley, yeah, sure.
I sang Earth Angel and Johnny B. Good up on stage with a band called Marvin Berry and the Starlight.
The crowd wasn't ready for that Johnny B. Good.
No, they were not.
The solo you did.
My dad punched Chip. Who did my dad punch? Chip? What was his name?
Your dad?
He punched
oh, my gosh.
Biff.
Biff, yeah.
Right in the mouth.
Biff had it coming, though.
And, of course, I'm kidding. The true story is that every kid in my entire high school died on prom night thanks to a gal named Carrie White.
Oh, my gosh. Did you guys actually have themes? I did not have a theme.
I don't remember themes.
Yeah, we didn't have a theme either.
I don't remember themes, but there must be a new movement. So, anyway, this here high school I was telling you about, they've decided on a theme for their prom. They're calling it La Prom, and the theme is LeBron James, and I don't get it.
Oh, they're probably just trying to get him to come.
So what do? Bring their kids to the dance even though they don't deserve to be there? Is that what you do?
Oh, my God.
Janelle, can you guess at all what would you do at a LeBron James themed prom?
Yeah, I just don't know.
You wear his jersey. Everyone has a bad hairline. What do you do? Wow.
Oh my God.
Well, he does. He's got a.
Do they have a G League prom? Because that would be appropriate.
Wow.
G League prom, baby.
Oh, man.
My God.
Come on, Willi Myles. You know it's ridiculous that his kid is on that damn team. That's ridiculous that his kid is on that damn team.
No, it doesn't make it. Well, it's not that bad. I mean, he's paying his kid's salary, so it's not that bad. It's not costing him any money.
Yeah, they call it an allowance. It's not a salary.
Let's see here. Tatted Mama Sheezes. Oh, my damn. This is for real. This is hilarious. When Tatted Mama Sheezes went to prom skis, it's quite a few years ago, if you don't mind me saying Tatted Mama Sheezes, but the theme of their prom was a night in Paris because that was the year that Paris Hilton's sex tape came out.
Dude, that's great.
How'd they get away with that?
Probably because the teachers and principals
had no idea.
Must have been completely unaware.
And they used the Eiffel Tower.
Depends on her age, too. You know, things were more
horizontally
loose back then.
You don't dance at the LeBron James theme prom. You just flop.
Whoa.
According to our listening audience.
Wow.
That is cute. A night in Paris.
I want to know what high school that was.
Yeah. Where'd you go to high school, tatted mama Jesus? If it was Minnetonka, you suck.
So bad.
All right, we got to get going again. What do I have here for you before you go, Randy Shaver? Oh, the Carolina Panthers announced the signing of a person who has no prior football experience. I wonder if their fans will notice.
Probably not.
This has become kind of a thing, right? So they signed a kid who played college basketball. He's 6'9". They're going to try him out to play tight end.
This is not unusual for the NFL.
No, this has been a thing.
Tony Gonzalez was a basketball player. Joe Sensor was a basketball player.
Yeah, but did they never play football at all before?
I can't tell you about either of those guys. I don't know if they had a lot of football experience.
Apparently, this kid has never touched never played any kind of competitive football.
I mean, look at Brock Lesnar. Right. NFL teams are not set on just bringing in football players. They're always looking to find athletes in one way or another.
Yeah, like I said, this is nothing wildly new.
Yeah.
Sprinters.
Yeah, Bob Hayes was a sprinter.
Hayes, Ronaldo Nehemiah.
Yeah, he's a hurdler.
Willie Galt?
Willie Galt
was a sprinter. Yeah.
Nehemiah was a world-class high hurdler. I mean, he was not necessarily a football player.
People are saying Antonio Gates never played football.
Right.
He's probably a basketball player.
Before he was. All right. So,
I mean, tight end position kind of fits the tight end position, if that's what they're thinking with this guy.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
By comparison, their quarterback, was it Bryce Young?
Yes.
He's 5'10". He's listed as 5'10". There's going to possibly be a guy who's 6'9" in the friggin' huddle. Here's a listener, HVAC Delivery Jesus, who said he had a prom theme. It was called Buzzkill because they breathalyzed everyone at the door.
Oh, that sucks.
Just four nerds on the dance floor.
That was on the way into the prom.
On their way in, they were breathalyzing everyone at the damn door.
When you walk in drunk at the prom. My God.
Okay. Tatted Mama Jesus went to high school in Webster, Wisconsin. That's where they had the Paris Hilton-themed prom.
Well, that track, they didn't have internet or nothing.
No. There are no rules in Webster, friggin' Wisconsin. That's for damn sure.
Wow.
All right, Randy Shaver, go ahead. Take your, I suppose it's medication time by now.
Yeah, usually about 8:15, yes.
Medication time, gentlemen.
Got to take it with food.
Nurse Ratchet.
Hey, Randy, tell them that it's still a goal for them to get to our age, right?
That's correct.
You guys are doing all right.
I am not going to feel bad about that one bit.
Take my pill and get on with my day.
That's right.
Appreciate it, brother. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
See ya.
Janel Klein and Willi Myles will be sticking around. We'll be back in a few minutes here on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Well, there's my beautiful podcast, people. Everybody good? All right, great to hear. Thanks, as always, for listening to the podcast. And, of course, thanks to our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning for making it all possible. Can we believe it's April already? And like the old saying goes, April showers brings gross, disgusting humidity and heat in May. Beat the heat and the summer rush. Have Standard Heating and Air Conditioning out to work on that AC soon. April is the best month to get your air conditioning wrenched on before the huge summer rush starts. So get on that today. Go to standardheating.com and schedule that AC tune-up. Thanks for listening. We love you podcasters. Enjoy the show.
It's part sports.
We have football on the brain.
Part pop culture.
Dennis Leary. True or false? You refuse to wear a glove with Mickey Mantle's signature on it for the movie The Sandlot.
The Red Sox blood, the Brewers blood, they run deep.
And in the best celebrity interviews.
Robert De Niro here on The Rich Eisen Show. How are you, sir?
Just got over a 24-hour virus.
The antidote is to appear on The Rich Eisen Show.
There you go. I would have done it earlier.
And you've got The Rich Eisen Show podcast.
There is a medicinal quality to appearing on this program.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
KARE 11's Janel Klein.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Welcome back to the program. We love you very much. We were talking prom with our in-studio guests. See Willi Myles and Janel Klein. Here's a text message that came in from a listener. 651-989-9393 is the number you can reach us at. And this listener says, they ran dogs through our cars at our homecoming and prom to check for drugs and alcohol.
Wow. Must have had a reputation.
Was there a lot of drugs and alcohol at your high school, Janel Klein and C. Willi Myles? A lot of drugs and alcohol?
I would say a lot of alcohol. I mean, not in school, though. I don't remember anything like that.
Well, no, I mean, when you'd go out and socialize. Or, sure, maybe some kids had drugs and alcohol in the parking lot or snuck it into the bathroom or something like that. At the football games, you're drinking out in the parking lot, this and...
Maybe. I don't know. I think it was, at least what I remember, pretty harmless, clean fun.
Sure.
I don't know.
Drugs and alcohol, see Willi Myles?
Not really. I mean, when you go down school down south, I mean, it's mostly red man chewing tobacco.
Delicious.
Little marijuana, probably.
Yeah.
Out in the parking lot somewhere, but not. No, we didn't. Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Some schools have. How should a grown person say this? Some schools have an easier time with that than others. Now, see, Willi.
Yes,
I understand you have a little story to tell about your show last Saturday at Crooners.
Yeah, the info you were sharing with me is very cool.
My God.
What are we up against here?
So that by the beginning of last week, my show was already sold out. So I had people calling me trying to get tickets, and I think we squeezed a couple of more seats in. When I get there, Mary T., the owner of Crooners, she always comes up and introduces every single act. And I just love this lady. She's a sweetheart. She said, raise your hand if you've never been here before. Half the room. Never been there before.
Okay. This is the live audience?
This is the live audience.
Okay.
So I get up on stage after she introduced me and everything, and I was just like, my God. I'm standing in the back of the room after she said, how many of you have never been here? I said, I've been coming here for 3 years. I said, where have you people been? I said, raise your hand if it's your first time being here. And then all these people raised their hand, and then I said, why would you come tonight? What was so special tonight? And half the audience was 93X listening.
Oh, that's awesome.
93.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they was like, we listened to you on 93X. We heard you're going to be here. And I was like, I'm there almost every Tuesday. Why this night? And they said, this the night that worked. And everybody, half my audience that night were... And I talked to practically every single one of them on the way out. It was just so awesome. I couldn't believe it.
Pairing up with this powerhouse morning program is finally paying off for you, see, Willi Myles.
It is.
That's great to know that
but
so many...
It is, though. But it's all around. It's everywhere I go because they listen to you guys on iHeart, I guess. Mm-hmm. And this was in New Mexico. This was in Colorado. This was in Montana.
Wait a minute, you're getting people in those states saying
that listen to you guys online. They're from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
They're from Wisconsin. They're from Minnesota.
Yeah.
And so they like to listen to their favorite. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm down in Raton, New Mexico. Mm-hmm. I'm 7,000 feet up in a mountain. And these 14 women came in from town there to my show, and they're from Wisconsin.
Well, thank you to everyone for that. That's really cool.
The online thing, you can reach people. We had a guy text in earlier this morning from Warsaw, Poland. It's a whole new operation, isn't it, Josh?
It is. It really is, man.
And you can tell that if you go on social media and read all the positive comments. You can tell the support.
They're everywhere.
Well, that's great. That's great to hear.
And now, everywhere I go, even I was up in Virginia. I was up in Virginia, Minnesota. Same thing, you know what I mean? And so this May 2nd, I'm going to be in St. Cloud, going back to where my career began.
Oh, yeah.
That's where we're going to shut it down, put a bow on it up there at the Paramount Center for the Arts.
This will be your final.
This is my final year touring.
Okay.
So and then I'm going to keep it local and really just, corporate events and stuff like that. But I won't be doing the national tours anymore like I've been doing in the past.
Hasn't Janel been out to see a show?
She's been to one, I think, a couple of years ago. She came over when Prior Lake. I got to be close to her neighborhood. Janelle don't get out. And I do that show I do down in Prior Lake is on a school night. So
okay. You have seen a Sea Willi show.
I have. Yeah. That was a few years ago, but I did go.
Yeah. That was a great show.
If you haven't gone, you should go. It's such a good time. It's awesome. And the crowds are always great.
They are.
Yeah.
I would have fun crowds. My crowds are anywhere between, I have people who are 21 all the way up to like 90 that come to my shows. Because number one, they're clean. Number one, they're family friendly. Number two, I'm just really going to be just talking about stuff that everybody knows about anyway.
Just got a text message from a listener who's listening from New Mexico. Maybe she's one that came to your show down there. She calls herself Loves Wisco Sheezes. But right now she's listening from New Mexico. It's not our business, I guess, why she's down there. But if you feel like getting back to us, Loves Wisco, what are you doing in New Mexico? If you don't mind telling us, 651-989-9393.
Box handler Jesus chiming in from Montana right now.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they were everywhere. Every show I did, people came up and said, "Yeah, we listened to you on, I was like, well, thank you very much. And thanks for listening. And I'll let them know that they got listeners out here with goats and stuff.
Yeah.
Good, nice folks out there.
Goat people. This online gimmick has changed the game completely. No question about it.
Do you like those corporate shows? Are those fun?
Yeah, they are really fun. I have one tomorrow up in St. Cloud. I'm doing it's called Forum of Executive Women. So it's going to be a whole bunch of women, and they want to do a show. It's an afternoon show, so I'm doing that. And then the next day, I'm going up to Two Harbors, and that's for a big chamber event for all the big cities up in Duluth, Two Harbors, and all in between.
At the corporate shows, your show usually takes place in the afternoon, and all the corporate folks have the rest of the day off, and they really get into the drinks, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They
know they're done for the day.
We've never had something like that here, where they brought someone in for a show of some sort.
I can't think of a damn thing.
Like I know Best Buy has brought in band. Have you done one for Best Buy?
Best Buy, yeah. Best Buy was one of my big clients for a long time. Best Buy, Target, 3M, and Honeywell.
Honeywell, yeah. You got all the big ones.
Josh, do you remember when Coulda came into the radio station looking for someone to play his records?
What? Are you serious?
Oh, many years ago.
I like Coulda.
Maybe you weren't here yet.
No.
But Coulda came into the building.
That's cool.
Did you know that, Janelle, that I got a chance to say hello to Coulda?
I did not. How was it?
He was very friendly.
Really?
And now
That's
I think he has passed away.
Sadly, I believe you're right.
What's new with you, Janelle?
What is new with me? I went to a Twins game over the weekend.
Oh, yeah?
Whoa.
Yeah. I feel like that's a kind of a big deal for me because I don't go as much as I used to.
You probably had to bundle up a little bit.
A little bit. It was cold.
Speaking of getting into the drinks.
Yeah.
You and some gal friends?
Yep, with a group of friends. It was fun. I still think that's one of the best stadiums.
Oh, I love it.
It's so well done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Really good food, as we all know.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good.
That's the only one I've ever been to. Only baseball stadium.
I feel like it's really good. I mean, you know what's funny? I did not realize it's 10 or 15 years old already. I did not realize it was.
It's 15 years old. Yeah, it's 15
we were just talking about that.
I know.
Isn't that wild,
it's
you guys?
crazy.
But I don't. It's still so good. I love that stadium.
They do such a good job upgrading every year, adding new things. They're not just sitting back and coasting.
Yeah, I'm not a big. I just don't think Minnesota deserves an outdoor baseball.
What? I love that ballpark.
You want a roof?
I think you need a roof. I mean, people. It's just I want to go to. I literally would love to go to baseball, but I can't do it here. It's just too cold early in the season, and then in the summertime, that sun. If you don't get a great seat, that sun just beats the crap.
We mentioned that third base line on some of those summer days. Ooh,
You've been living here how long? You still haven't acclimated yourself to the weather?
No, you just don't do that.
Nothing beats those night games, though. Those are so beautiful.
You know what? You're right. That's the only time I will. In the summer, I will go to a Twins night game. I really would.
The best.
Oh. Those are the best. Now that's nice. But at the end of the day, put a roof over it, baby.
You want an option. You want a retractable roof.
There you go.
F all of that noise.
To put a retractable roof on it like they did in Arizona.
Baseball was meant to be played outdoors, so was football.
Well, yeah, but not in the snow. Not baseball. Football's a different animal.
Toughen up, for Christ's sake, see Willi Myles.
Not going to do it.
If you can handle a show in the mountains of New Mexico, you can handle a ball game where it might be a little hot.
Inside.
All right. We were speaking earlier, of course, of our school days. We got to talking about prom and such. Here's a conversation that online folks have been having. They've been talking about what the weird kid did at their school. Anyone want to start? what the weird kid did at your school. And, of course, we could be going all the way back to grade school. And most of this stuff is probably grade school stuff when kids are just bizarre little creatures.
You should set the mood with your story about the tree kid, Nick.
Yeah.
That's my favorite story you've ever told.
I have a few examples of what the weird kid did at my school. Now, this was high school. There was a kid at our high school who portrayed himself to be a ninja. He wore usually all black and kind of the military-looking camo, or not camo, but military-looking black pants, with a lot of pockets. And he fantasized that he was some level of ninja. And so what he would do was he would climb up in a tree and sort of camouflage himself up there. And then when we would walk by that tree on our way to the front door of the high school, he would say, "Psst, could have killed you."
So unsettling.
Oh my gosh.
And we would say, "Yes, Ernie, we know that you could. Yes, from that vantage point, with us not recognizing that you were in the tree, yes, you could have killed him." And of course, he always had throwing stars in his pockets. And what was this thing, Josh?
The nunchuck?
No.
Oh, butterfly knife?
Butterfly. Yes, he always had a butterfly knife. That was his role.
I always wanted I had a butterfly comb my uncle got me for Christmas one year. It's one of my prized possessions.
Oh, that's so cool.
So what did the weird kid do at your school?
Oh, my God. That was
We had a
funny.
kid that thought they were a cat, so they would just meow.
Did they legitimately think they were, or they just that was their bit?
Honestly, I'm not too sure. So, yeah, we used to have couches or kind of like comfier chairs in the library, and they would, sit up on those, like a cat would with their legs up.
Weird.
And then if you walked past, meow, meow. That was interesting. You get used to it, though.
Do you?
Yeah, after a couple times, there's the cat girl.
Oh, I had a couple. So we had a similar situation to what you had, Nick. The guy,
a killer ninja character.
Well, he wasn't quite a ninja, but this was when Kung Fu came out.
Sure.
And so this kid, Trevor Thomas, was always he would dress up like David Carradine.
Oh yeah.
And that's how he was barefoot.
Yeah.
And he was just like, every time he would see you, he would bow, and but he carried his on. He carried his on. He lived down where we lived, in down a dirt road. He would always walk up down there, and you just hear the Kung Fu music walking.
So
with
he
him.
completely threw himself into that character. Yeah.
And then he would. But he would always get in fights, but he did not know karate.
Yeah.
But he would always jump in. He had to stance down, and he did all the moves and everything.
He could mimic what he saw on television.
Yeah, he got beat up a lot, though.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, you don't walk around with the Kung Fu vibe.
Right.
Without someone challenging that.
Yeah. And I think his brother was a nurse or something, so he's got his nursing pants on, so he could have the the baggy pants.
More
so
flexibility.
More flexibility.
Yeah, sure.
So he played the whole role. And then at the end of the day, we had another guy, Ben Harris. Ben couldn't, and this wasn't, his parents said that he had no neurological damage or anything. They don't know why he did that.
Yeah.
But he couldn't walk into a room. He had to back into a doorway. Always.
Some kind of a phobia.
Right.
Okay.
Like he would, so he would he walked straight all day till he gets to a door, and he backed in.
And then once he was in the room, he could spin around and go.
Yeah, he backed in it no matter what. Bus stop, getting off the bus.
So that's dangerous.
I know. He had to step down.
Not like just joking around. It was a phobia?
We don't know. Like his parents said, he's not like that at home. At home, he walks through all the doors. When he gets outside the house, he won't do it. Church, it was the same way. He would come to church. He went to my church.
Backing down out of a school bus sounds very dangerous.
Yeah, it does.
And wait, backing into the bus as well.
Backing onto the bus.
You know how strong your hamstrings have to be to back up On a bus?
You know, there is a movement now about jogging and walking backwards, to, like activating muscles you don't normally do. I was just reading an article on that a few weeks ago, on how like some people they're getting they're working that into their training,
and they're injuring themselves, is what I remember.
Well, those are people who aren't athletes, because athletes have to run backwards. That's the whole training for us, is that use every muscle in your body.
Right, Josh? They're backing into bodies of water and turning their ankles.
Taking out other people.
Exactly.
Running into other people.
Because running backwards is, first of all, it's not normal. And secondly, it's not easy to do.
Oh, man.
KARE 11's Janel Klein.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Before we go too far, let's throw ourselves at this Oasis prize. We want to send you to see Oasis. They're coming back around everywheres. Oasis Live 25, they're calling the tour. The Gallagher brothers and that whole deal. We want to send you to see them at the Rose Bowl in Los Angeles. You get a trip for two, round-trip air, 2-night stay, $250 spending cash, and 2 tickets to see Oasis live in concert with special guest Cage the Elephant. Text the national keyword right now, CHOICE, CHOICE, to 95819 to enter for a chance to win. Good luck. Again, 95819 is the number, and the word is choice, CHOICE. Who wants to go next? What did the weird kid do at your school?
A couple of texts have come in on the topic. Well, lots of texts have come in on the topic. I'd say this one is probably the most qualified from More Anxiety Than Hair Jesus. They had a kid in their school that masturbated using pizza.
Wow.
That's weird.
No way. Was that one of those rumors?
Right, like the girl that used a Coke bottle in our middle school?
It was a hot dog at my
Hot dog at mine, too. Yeah,
did this guy go to high school with the Noid?
I miss the Noid.
I love
the
that
Noid
little
would
guy.
not approve.
Pizza was his masturbatory tool.
Yeah, was this at school or is this a rumor after school? More Anxiety Than Hair Jesus.
Was it a warm pizza?
I would hope so.
Pizza.
I'm pretty sure everybody has had this kid now based off of the text messages. And I did too. The one that would just run up and down the hallways to every class or to lunch and all that.
No.
Oh, we had that kid. He like cinched their backpack up real tight and just sprint. Everybody else would be casually walking down, talking to their friends. There'd be one kid that would just sprint everywhere.
Running from bullies or wants to get a good seat? Or?
I'm not sure, but yeah, we've gotten quite a few texts on that too.
What about a squirrel master? This person says there was a kid in his sister's class who earned the nickname Squirrel Master because on numerous occasions he'd crawl around in various shrubs. This was in high school, and he would talk to squirrels.
What?
I was hoping it was a lot cooler than that. I take back my cool.
What did the weird kid do in Faribault?
You know what? I'm just sitting here thinking about it. I can't come up with anyone.
You didn't have any that spoke to the animals?
I can't think of one person I thought was weird.
That means it was you, Janelle.
Yeah, probably.
That's pretty much the answer.
All right, here's an example from the godless internet. This individual says, the weird kid at my high school got into an argument with a pretty popular kid. Popular kid wanted to fight. And the weird kid told him, yes, I will fight you. But if I win, I get to keep your thumbs.
Oh, my God. What?
He said they did not fight.
No.
They did not fight.
Don't ever trust that challenge.
All right. Our listening audience had plenty to say, like Josh was telling you via text. One of the weird kids at my school says a listener would ask all the girls for their used socks because he had a foot fetish. Who here likes feet?
Nope.
I'm fine with them, but I don't have a fetish of any sort.
Not a fan.
High-rise gamer Jesus said the weird kid would pick his scabs and eat it. That weird kid was my cousin. I've got a couple of weird
Not
cousins.
if anybody asked, though, right?
We had a kid who would paint his entire hand with rubber cement. You know, that stuff that really hard to glue, and then it would get hard, and then he would peel it off, and he would then nibble on it like that.
Oh, you had me until the last part.
Yeah, the first part was kind of cool.
Yeah, there were glue eaters out there. Glue eaters.
We had a glue eater.
And glue sniffers.
Glue sniffers, sure.
Yeah.
Josh, what did the kid do? You said he'll pick his scabs and
ate them.
And ate them.
Yeah.
Here's a weird kid who would pick his nose with his tongue.
Okay, that's different.
It's horrible.
Little Village Jesus said the weird kid was a Pokemon nerd who would wear Pokemon clothes, hats, had a box of cards at all time, play cards on the floor by himself in the halls. And he's now a Pokemon collector, and he makes $100,000 a year trading cards and has a live stream that's very popular.
Yes, I was going to say, I bet he's rich now.
Apparently so.
So I did all of that stuff until the monetize it portion. I was a kid that played Pokemon in middle school. Not making $100,000 a year on it now, though.
That's adorable.
Weird kid at my school, says a listener, a skinny kid, long hair, trench coat, who told everyone that he was a werewolf.
I remember a kid in third grade trying to convince people he was from the sun.
Oh.
And I'll tell you what, he was very charismatic, and for a moment he had me. He had me for a moment.
I think everybody had the fake accent kid, that would start a new accent. But the one that stood out for me that did that in high school, we got this new kid in class, first day, and he's talking with this big southern drawl, just, hey, y'all, like he's from the South. We're like, oh, where are you from, man? And, that accent. He goes, oh, dog, I'm from Hastings. Hastings. We're like, Hastings, Minnesota, like 15 minutes from me. He goes, yeah, dog, from Hastings.
Word.
Oh, no.
And we're like, oh,
Word.
Do people talk like that? Yeah, everybody talk like this down in Hastings.
I've been to Hastings. I don't remember that.
Me neither.
All right, another listener texted in on the weird kid from school. During a bathroom break in 6th grade, the uncircumcised kid would pinch it off and fill it with urine like a balloon.
Oh!
What?
The topic is weird kids. I don't know how that qualifies.
I didn't think that was possible.
Pinch it off.
Did everybody else have the kids in the elementary school and even middle school that would just pull their pants and underwears all the way down to the ankles at the urinal?
No.
That was always funny.
Like, they did it as a bit?
No, I just think that's just how you go to the bathroom. You have to pull everything down straight to the ankles on the dirty bathroom floor in order to then lift the shirt up and do the butters where you tuck it with your chin, too.
Very little kids.
Yeah, when we were in, what do you call that first year? What's
Kindergarten.
that? Kindergarten. When we were in kindergarten, sure, there were a few kids who operated like that. What are you talking about, in high school?
No, I'm talking like 5th, 6th grade kids were still doing that.
Oh, come
Even
on.
that age?
Yeah.
I remember teaching my kid at a very young age not to do that. I mentioned before, I walked into a Chipotle, and right there's the urinal. There's a kid, probably 6, 7 years old by himself, and he was doing exactly that, and I turned around and walked out. I couldn't be in the same room.
Oh, you'll catch a case.
Exactly.
You catch a case of being in there with a kid like that.
You remember your spiral notebook, Janelle?
Mm-hmm,
You used to write things in there like, I love Donnie, whoever
Right.
the star quarterback, whoever he was.
Yep.
And you'd write, what would you write in there?
Like your first name and their last name.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
definitely.
Yep.
Or your
We're married now.
initials and a heart together.
You wanted to see what it looked like on paper.
Yeah.
With your crush's last name next to your first, of course. You wrote in there, Backstreet for life, whatever you wrote in your
right.
spiral notebook. But here's a weird kid who would snap the metal or whatever they are, aluminum spirals off the notebook and then pierce his ears with it.
I remember girls piercing their ears in class.
Me too, but not with that.
What's the word I'm looking for? Rough tools?
With pins or something.
Oh, pins, yeah.
Needles.
Oh, yeah, when we had home ec, the teacher had to deal with that quite a bit because we could learn how to sew, and so we were sitting there piercing each other.
We had a kid on the hockey team who was a really good player. He decided to self-pierce his own ear. The thing obviously got so infected, it ballooned up like a comical-sized clown-type ear.
That can kill you.
He had to miss games because he couldn't get the bucket over his head. He couldn't get his helmet on.
Oh, my God.
So he had to go to our hockey coach, who's one of the toughest SOBs we'd ever met, and say, hey, I pierced my own ear, and my ear is too infected to play hockey now. That had to have been a tough conversation.
There was about a month-long fascination when we were in high school of get drunk at the party and have someone pierce your ear for you with a non-traditional tool. And those who did it regretted it terribly, and so the trend didn't last very long. Okay, we got to get out of here. I wanted to tell you about one more weird kid. Plucked out his pubes with a tweezers and then would put them on his desk.
Oh, yuck.
And blow him before he leaves.
Oh, no.
For you.
Right as I'm walking by with a sandwich or something.
For you. Bo Hunting, Jesus, he said he definitely had a girl in his class that would hiss like a cat anytime someone looked at her.
We knew the same one.
That's hilarious.
That's when you knew. Hey, look! Don't even start.
Hands off.
She is not invited to my birthday party.
What the hell? Thanks, Janelle and C. Willie.
Thank you, guys. Love seeing you. Thank you so much. Happy anniversary to goalie host Jesus from Helicopter Fixerer Jesus. HVAC Bowling Jesus texts in a shout out for his son Jordan's first birthday. Happy birthday to Lincoln, turning the big 09 today from Mom, delivery driver. Delivery driver Jesus. Happy birthday to T-Dog 316, aka Red Rock Loader Jesus. TTR Jesus texts in a happy birthday to his boy Otto, turning the big 05. Hashtag thanks for listening. Hashtag Taco Tuesday. Hashtag so sorry for the hashtags.
93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
You gotta be kidding me. Who greenlit this garbage?
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Well, there's my beautiful podcast, people. Everybody good? All right, great to hear. Thanks as always for listening to the podcast. And of course, thanks to our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning for making it all possible. Can we believe it's April already? And like the old saying goes, April showers brings gross, disgusting humidity and heat in May. Beat the heat and the summer rush. Have Standard Heating and Air Conditioning out to work on that AC soon. April is the best month to get your air conditioning wrenched on before the huge summer rush starts. So get on that today. Go to standardheating.com and schedule that AC tune-up. Thanks for listening. We love you podcasters. Enjoy the show.